I've had a big week.
You've had a weekend.
Big week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
First up, my weekend, I went to Vegas. I saw Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, which one?
With the water.
O is sick. As somebody who's seen almost all of the Cirque du Soleils, O is one of the best ones.
It's the only one I've seen. Ask me how it was.
How was it?
Nightmarish. Terrifying.
Oh, like because they like keep like jumping like 100 feet off in the air into like tiny little pools?
Because it looks like hell.
Yeah. Like for them in terms of like...
No, because it's like the set design looks like hell. There's like a big gangly man in white paint and a lantern coming out.
Yep.
There's all these like mannequins with their faces punched in.
How'd you feel about the clown? The clown that does like they roll out the clown every like 20 or so minutes so they can change the set, and it's just like a weird like it's like Simlish clown bit.
Yeah, there are two clowns.
Yep.
There's one who's short and sad, and then another who's tall and sad.
Yes.
Because they're in hell. And yeah, so they do clown shit. In the very beginning, they call up a man from the audience, and they're like, "You come read the fire safety stuff."
This is the one with the long. The antagonist has like the long hair.
Yeah, he's like a long fucking Slender Man guy.
Yeah.
And there's water. It's apparently the only one with like
It is the only one with water. Yes.
And they call the man from the audience, and the guy comes up, and they're like, doing clown shit. They're clowning on him. They're like, filling a bucket with water and throwing it. And where's the water? And then they look at it, and the water splashes on them.
Yep.
And this dude's fucking terrified that he's gonna get clowned into an early grave.
They're gonna be like, yeah, you're also you've been pulled up. You're on the high ropes, and he's like, what? I'm not qualified.
Well, and then he's like, he reads the fire safety stuff, and they're like, they do a bow and they make everyone clap for him. And then the guy grabs a hook and then he loops it onto his belt, and then he pulls the rope. The guy gets hoisted into the sky, and then throughout the whole show, this guy's coming out in like tatters, and these like nymphs are trying to drown him and shit.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
You realize that man works for Cirque du Soleil, right?
They tortured a man.
You realize that man?
They tortured a man in front of all of us.
He's a planted fan.
That could have been any one of us.
You're like, it could have been me. I was sitting next to him.
They
pointed at me. I said, no,
please. The whole 2 hours, I kept getting yelled at by security because I turned to Sarah and I'd go, that could have been me.
Could have been me.
That could be me up there.
They said anybody 5'9" with brown hair.
Yeah.
No, I rounded up for you there. You're welcome.
Appreciate.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it was horrifying. It's scary. It's like venturing into hell.
But it's also white. Like, it's like genuinely like, and this is so wildly specific, but if you can see a Cirque du Soleil show, fucking see it.
Yeah.
They're wildly cool.
The whole time you're watching it, you're like, where is this money coming from? It is the most expensive looking fucking, and it's expensive to get in.
They do, it's like $150 to get a seat, and they fill that stadium every single night. There's so many like fucking sets, and there's a pool, like I said, and a ton of makeup. Oh, there's a different one. It's not there's another one where the stage is augmentable, so it'll lift off the ground and like go straight to vertical, or like, and it's like the size that pool area was.
Whoa.
It's that big, and it's on like a giant rotating arm, so it can be a wall, a floor, a slope. It's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is wild. You know what else is wild? As you're going into the lobby, like just before you get into the amphitheater, in the lobby is just a museum of the most hardcore erotic pornography you have ever seen in your life. It's all a bunch of
What hotel is Owen?
Bellagio.
Gotcha.
It's all a bunch of like marble statues of people like tearing their leotards open and their schlong just flopping out.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And then people like becoming a human yin and yang symbol and their schlongs touching. And then you get in there and nobody's fucking.
Well, I mean,
it's like a family-friendly clown show.
Of course it is. I mean, what did you want? Did you want like love on the high ropes? You're like we jump 100 feet up and see if we can complete before we hit the water.
I want to see two trapeze artists do triple somersaults.
But instead of grabbing each other's hands, it's just like by the penises. It's just like this isn't worth minimum wage.
Yeah, the whole thing. They're speaking in Simlish and Latin and shit. And they're like, oh, and they do it. It's like, oh, why? Every time, why? It's not part of the show.
They said you'd get used to it. I'm not used to it.
He's like, shoot her. Somebody shoot her.
She won't. She's using her nails.
Let go. They got snipers in the balcony. They always have to shoot.
They're just like, Man, it is so hard to find a new trapeze artist every week.
Yeah. But it was crazy. You know what, though? Honestly, you know what would have made it better?
What?
Because it's fucking long. You get your money's worth.
It's like an hour and a half, yeah.
It's like 2 hours long. And then it's an hour and 40 minutes, and I only know that because I went to the 7 o'clock one. And then an hour and 40 minutes goes by, and it's 8:40. And then there's one at 9 p.m. Do they have 2 sets of cast?
Probably, almost definitely, yeah.
They must.
Or they just do it twice.
Exhausting.
I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, well,
I'm sure they could
they might
replace,
rotate.
They
Yeah.
could rotate like the main cast.
Yeah, true.
Like the guys who are doing just the dancing or the running or the throwing spears, like they can do.
It's funny because they'll also have people just run out and stand in the corner and do like a little jig, but like a single person just to liven
and
it
then they're
up.
up in the crowd. There's the one where they have the augmentable stage. They put people up in the rafters and they shoot arrows onto stage. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, they always miss, but
I thought you meant they had if you're in a balcony seat, an actor will come up and put an apple on your head.
Oh,
and
no,
they'll shoot into the balcony.
It's just like shouldn't have got the expensive seats. Yeah,
You just see the guy like shaking and like sweating. It's like
I can't do it in a lawsuit, man.
He's like, it has to be everybody's first day someday.
Welcome to the Cirque.
Yeah.
So what'd you do outside of Cirque du Soleil?
Well, so I was gonna say the one thing that would have made it better because it's long as hell and the music isn't that catchy. It's not that memorable. You know what would have improved
Also, the
it
story
tenfold?
is in Latin.
Yeah, some dumbass, gay ass language.
Yeah, some fucking dead ass, stupid language.
It's dead ass
Yeah.
in Latin. You know what would have made it from like a 7 out of 10 to a 12 out of 10? If every song was replaced by an AJR song. That's all it needed. And thus I transition into the other thing I've done this week.
I have terrible news for you.
Yeah?
There's a Cirque du Soleil Beatles show where every song is the Beatles.
You know what? I would say that's terrible
Yeah,
news.
that's
sounds
terrible news for
fucking
you. It's like I would argue that it's a better version of AJR, but the Beatles are just the AJR of the 60s. Yeah. That is the most accurate comparison I've ever made on this show. The Beatles are just the AJR or the fun of the 60s.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to be angry because you were like, the Beatles are better than AJR, which is just ridiculous.
I genuinely, I would rather drill holes in both of my ears than listen to either of them. So it makes no difference to me.
Dude, I was like, I also don't care for the Beatles, except Twist and Shout, which goes unreasonably hard for the Beatles.
Twist and Shout is the
Come on and shake it up, baby, now shake it up, baby.
That's the Beatles?
Isn't that weird? It doesn't sound like that.
I thought they just like crooned about weirdly colored submarines.
I know they do sound. They're a bunch of crooners, except Twist and Shout, which is an unmitigated banger.
I thought that would be like, I don't know, some
I thought
guy.
it was Rolling Stones.
I thought, that or like some guy in the 60s named like Chet Hanston or something. like Jeff Garland
Yeah, just
or
Skippy
something.
Joe.
Yeah, like something quorky like
Yeah.
that. That's the Beatles?
It's a whole ass Beatles. It's
a great song.
It's a whole ass dead ass Beatles.
It's objectively a great song.
Yeah, it's great. It's so good.
How was AJR?
Great.
Yeah.
They're the Cirque du Soleil of AJR.
They're the Cirque du Soleil of hyperpop is what you're looking for.
Well, what's sick about AJR, and I ran into Dan Povenmire.
I gotta stop. Really?
Yeah, I just ran into him. Like, I was walking out to, like, get a hot dog. Dan Povenmire was just walking in. I was like, hey, dude.
So, have you met him before?
Yeah, at Michaela's thing. Oh,
Gotcha.
you weren't there. You
I
didn't go.
wasn't
Yeah. But
I wasn't here. No, it was like 5 years.
it was your anniversary.
It was my anniversary. Yeah.
That's right. But AJR's genuinely sick. Even if you don't like their music, they put on such a crazy show involving animatronics and sleight of hand magic. The first song they did, so he has like a very like unique look where it's just like a flannel and he wears this like hat, like a wool hat.
And then, blackface. You're like, it's like, if I had a nickel for every time this happened, I'd have 2 nickels. Weird happened twice.
Yeah, right, Dan?
Right, Dan?
Yeah. But Dan Povenmire did not participate in blackface. That's not what the joke was.
No, the joke is that he was the voice of
that bit.
Dr. Dofensmirtz.
But I just like the idea that like this clip gets put on E! News or whatever, and they're like, Phineas and Ferb creator accused of doing blackface.
Yeah. By the way, they sussed out who that band was immediately.
Oh, so quick? It's very easy.
Yeah.
There's how many bands are in the
That being said, I started listening to the music.
it's good music.
It's really good.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But the first song they did, so he has an iconic look, this wool hat, blackface flannel, and the song starts.
Classic Vermont get up, you know.
The song starts and there's a spotlight on him and his back's facing away from us. And he's just like standing there and he's singing the song. And this on a beat, the spotlight changes to a different part of the stage and he's there. It's obviously a man wearing his clothes.
Gotcha.
But there's like a different him. And then it keeps doing that. He's all over. And then he's like hanging from the rafters at one of them. He's like swinging. And then when the song is like ramping up to a big climax, all of them are spotlit, and there's like 6 of him everywhere, and they just do shit like that where you're like, it's like a special effects show.
That's kind of sick, actually.
I'll show you a picture. There's a giant him at one point, like a big fucking AJR.
Who did you go with? Did you go with Sarah?
Sarah, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
No, I just went alone. Just clapping my ass off at AJR.
Woo! Love this Target music.
Here, look, there. It's a big him head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just on the screen.
No.
That's a real...
It's like a big robot above the screen.
That's a real giant animatronic head they bus from show to show.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. But
there's a lot of people here.
They're big. They're a good band. I like them.
That's crazy.
But yeah, otherwise, and then I'll wrap up my cold open that's going on for 15 minutes.
People love it.
You asked what else I did in Vegas.
You lost money on slots.
I won it back.
Nice.
You gotta do the Neptune and Zeus one. There's a Neptune and Zeus slot machine thing. Yep. I turned $1 into 30.
Nice.
Which made up for the 30 I lost.
Fuck yeah.
And so I profited $10.
Okay.
Total. So that was fun. Otherwise, I kind of fucking hate Vegas though.
Why?
When we were leaving, I stopped over here.
Where'd you stay?
The Hilton Resorts World.
Oh, fuck.
Which is nice.
It's incredible.
I just hate the city because it's so goddamn hot. I found out I hate the weather everywhere but LA, it turns out.
Yeah, welcome to why it's expensive here.
I thought it was just Houston, and then I went to fucking New Mexico and it sucked, and then Nevada sucks. Granted, I keep going to the middle of the goddamn
You keep going to deserts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so hot.
I'll tell you right now, it's hot everywhere right now. Except for here.
It's the worst. It's so nice and breezy at night here.
Yep.
It was so hot at night there. It smells like sewage everywhere you go.
You're on the strip, but yeah.
There's naked women everywhere, and my girlfriend wouldn't even let me look at them.
It's just like, but they're on the trucks. They're on the trucks. They're on the cards. People are handing out cards with naked women.
Sarah gets so annoyed with me because I am I'm such a child. I'm not even like, oh damn, look at them. I'll grab Sarah's arm and I'll be like, what's their what are they advertising? I don't see them handing out cards or anything.
Oh, you're talking about the women on the street who spank people.
A big, they spank and they have big peacock feathers.
Yeah, you have to pay them to take photos.
That's so silly.
It's like New York. It's like Times Square.
That can't be profitable.
Or they wouldn't be out there if it wasn't.
I guess so.
Yeah, or they can spank you. There's dominatrix ones.
I saw that.
Yeah,
but I'm just an annoying toddler where I'm just like, wait, are they? What's their business? What's their product?
You were just trying to build a conversation around them so you could spend as much time possible looking at them.
I'm just trying to figure it out. Well, and then they got dudes in cowboy hats, end of outfit.
Yeah.
And same thing. I'm like, is this for a club? Is this man just standing there doing a little yeehaw?
That Vegas is the entertainment capital of the United States, which means that you're a person who's been around the United States. You live in Los Angeles. You're used to depravity, all that kind of thing. There is thousands, if not millions, of Midwesterners who show up to Vegas every week. And they see a girl and big old boobies, feathers. Some 45-year-old group of women is here for a corporate event. They see ripped 2 men in cowboy hats and they're like, oh, let's go take a photo. You're like, it's not for us.
I guess so.
But that's because we're used to the depravity.
Yeah. It's something. It's interesting.
I love it. It's literally my favorite place on earth.
I know Dorothy, I stopped at your house before going and Dorothy was here and she was like, yeah, if I could live anywhere in the country other than here, it'd be Vegas. It'd be Vegas.
In a heartbeat.
I simply could never. I can't imagine.
It's hot as fuck in the summer.
Relentlessly hot. It's traffic wise. I can't believe everybody warns you about LA. Vegas sucks to drive.
You don't drive the strip. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, but what else is in Vegas?
So
if not the strip,
fully a massive city.
Here's the thing.
The strip is great, but it's like the boardwalk. It's like Santa Monica Pier or like the Star Walk kind of stuff like that in Vegas.
What do you like in Vegas then, if not the strip?
The strip.
It sucks.
I love the strip. I love gambling. I love expensive clubs. I love EDM artists. I love good food. Those are 4 things that are provided for me onto the strip. There's also a bunch of really cool like bars outside of like the strip area. So there's like Ready Player One. There's a couple of like big game bars, those kinds of things. And then you go to like the Old Town, like Fremont Street. You can go like the Flying Over Fremont. There's like cheaper slots over there. It's great.
Wow.
I love Vegas.
Well, driving to Vegas too is like being in Fallout because it's 100 miles of nothing, including gas.
People don't realize how big of the how big this country is, and B, how empty it is.
It's so empty.
Yeah. They call that area, that strip there, like it's like kind of around Death Valley, but like you'll pass towns called Ghost Town.
The fact that they call it Death Valley is like...
Well, it's the hottest place on Earth.
Yeah.
It was like 134 degrees there a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is gonna be the coldest summer of our lives, which means I just have to move incrementally closer to the ocean every single year. Only problem is the ocean is moving incrementally closer to me every single year. So gotta find a middle ground.
Eventually you'll meet.
Oh, hopefully.
You'll kiss.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my week. How was yours?
Good.
Yeah. Just
I got a 24-hour tattoo.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
you got stuck there.
Fucking
the plane stopped.
Crowd strike can suck my dick from behind.
What is crowd strike?
I don't know. That's like, you know how everyone was blaming Microsoft? It wasn't Microsoft. It was like an IT like service that Microsoft like runs on their computers kind of thing. But my buddy Winnie the Drew, who's a tattoo artist out in Salt Lake City, posted on Monday. He was like, I have this dream piece that I want to do really badly, and I just got 2 free days, Thursday, Friday. Is anybody want to get tattooed? And I just texted him. I was like, hey, I'll get that piece. And he was like, oh my God, like nobody would be better for it than you. And so I flew out to Salt Lake City Thursday. I flew out, Thursday morning. And then I hung out with him, got breakfast, all that, met a bunch of his like guest artists. I then got tattooed from 2 p.m. until midnight. And then we hung out in the shop until like 1 a.m. with like the guest artists, got some in and out, something like that. Got back to my hotel around 1 a.m. I'd go to check in for my hotel. They're like, we don't have your reservation.
Wow.
I was like, what? It's 1 a.m. You have my reservation. And they're like, no, we don't. I checked. And I was like, I got charged. Yeah. I have the reservation number right here from both my bank where I booked it through like Chase Travel. I was like, I booked it through Chase Travel and I have your reservation number right here. I was like, you're going to give me a room. And like, we're sold out. We have no rooms. They were completely full. They had no rooms. And I was like, one of those rooms is mine. By now, when he had already gone home, he lives 20 minutes away. Right. And so I call him, basically, I wake him up, and I'm like, I am going to sleep in the lobby of this fucking hotel. He comes and gets me. So I get to his place around like 2:30. I go to sleep. We are up at 7:30, 8 to get breakfast with the guest artists before they leave. He sleeps in. So we don't end up going to the shop until like 11. I then get tattooed Friday from 12 until 2 a.m.
God.
So this piece on my thigh took 24 hours of sit time, and my God, that's too long in any chair.
Yeah, I bet, let alone getting stabbed the entire time.
But it's objectively the coolest tattoo I now have, so I'm really happy with it. He thinks it's the best tattoo he's ever done, which I'm cool with. But yeah,
I'm cool with.
Yeah, like that's great news to hear for your tattoo artist.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. And then on my way back, my flight, I was on time for my flight. Once again, I Ubered because I had to leave at like 7:30. I get to my terminal. They're like, the crew's stuck in Sacramento, so the flight's gonna be delayed a little bit. And I was like, we're in Utah. Sacramento is hours away. That's not a delay. And then they're like, oh, we can't find another crew. Just cancel the flight. Wow. And they're just like, flip us off, back walk out of there. And I'm like, okay, cool. What the fuck am I supposed to do with my life here? Then I was like, all right, when they cancel a flight, you go up to the kiosk and you talk to the person who's who usually it's checking people's boarding passes and oh, we can get you on a flight to da-da-da and da-da-da. We're in Salt Lake City, not exactly a travel hub of the United States of America, unless you're a Mormon going on some kind of pilgrimage. So I'm like, I don't trust what they're gonna try and do. They're gonna try and put me on some fucking bullshit flight, and I just don't want to deal with that. And so
one of them goddamn flights on wheels.
Well, I was saying, I saw them turning people away, and I'm like, well, we were all trying to get to LA.
Yeah, right.
The fact that they're turning people away makes me believe that they're not putting people on flights. Yeah. So I just go to Google Flights, and I'm like, all right, I need to get from here to here, and I find a flight in 5 hours that's from Salt Lake to Burbank.
Yeah.
which is like 45 minutes from where I live. Not the end of the world. Like I live much closer to LAX, but who gives a shit? And so I was like, oh, you know, like I'm gonna just take this flight. But I wanted to see if they could book it for me because like there was like 12 seats left on it. I was like, that way I don't have to pay and I'm all good. And I get up to them and I'm like, hey, can you put me on this flight that's like open and has seats? And they're like, nope. Can't do it. I don't know why they couldn't do it. They have the power to fucking upgrade people to first class and like kick people off flights and put you on the no-fly list, but you can't fucking put my ass on a seat to Burbank. So I was like, whatever. I buy it. $500 one-way ticket because the flight's in 6 hours.
Right.
And then I just went and got brunch with Woody. And then I had to go back to the airport and I played Bloons Tower Defense for 2.5 hours. Nice. I then proceeded to play Bloons Tower Defense for 6 hours yesterday. I am on, it's in me, dude. Oh, it's in me. I forgot how much I love Bloons Tower Defense.
You have become such an iPad baby lately.
What do you mean?
Like when we went to Houston, all you did the whole flight was
play Stardew Valley.
Play Stardew Valley and watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Okay, the movie selection was not my fault. It's not my listen. I've never had a game I could play on flights until now, and I crush Stardew Valley. I'm now romancing Penny. I did come across a TikTok, unfortunately, and the gays will love this. So that's why I'm going to do this story. I'm romancing Penny, and apparently there's like this Fabio-looking motherfucker. That's who everyone usually romances. He's really nice. He's always down at the beach. I forget what his name is. I've definitely given him a couple of gifts, but like he's not really my type.
Right.
There's this girl. Her name's Penny. She's a redhead. She's nice. Her job is like she's a babysitter. She does live in a trailer.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm a little like
needs
Korean,
a pick me up.
Yeah, like a little Korean drama thing. I'm gonna be the CEO of the world. I have the biggest property in the entirety of the Stardew Valley. Like I have like acres. Everyone else is living in a house in town.
Yeah.
But like I'm like she like keeps an eye on kids and all that. And I'm like, you know what? I like you. She's nice because I was trying to get with this blonde girl named Haley, and then I asked her out and she said ew, and I was like, I do not have a humiliation kink. This bitch is mean, and so I've pivoted to Penny, and I was talking to. They did this like. I forget what it was called, like Stardew Star Festival or something. Okay. There's a seer there, like the lady with the ball.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones we used to burn.
Yeah, like a hypnotist.
Yeah, kind of. And she said, "I see you and Penny in a field." So,
wow.
But I was scrolling through TikTok and they were like, "This is who you romance and Stardew Valley says about you." And they said, "If you romance Penny, you have a mommy kink," which I don't.
What does this have to do with gay people?
Gays love Stardew. They love it, Danny. They love it. Well, I'm trending in the gay category right now, Danny.
I thought it was like, and I was scrolling on TikTok, and it was like, what this romance says about you. You're gay. And it's all...
Elliot, that's his name.
Elliot?
Is the Fabio one.
Wow.
Yeah.
You and Sarah would get along so much better than me and Sarah.
Why? Because she also plays Stardew Valley?
She loves Stardew Valley.
I gotta talk to her about this next time. I gotta stop talking about how mean you are to her whenever I'm with her when you're not around. We'll just talk about Stardew Valley instead.
That'd be sick.
Would that be big for you?
That'd be hype.
That'd be big for awesome. You. So yeah, no, I'm trying to get up in Penny's guts, and I'm trying to give her some kids of her own to fucking keep an eye on.
Keep an eye on.
But no, Bloons Tower Defense is like literally ruining my life. I almost didn't watch anime yesterday. I was almost gonna come into the podcast and be like, womp womp, because I just played. Because I was like, here's the thing. I was like, I'm gonna play Bloons Tower Defense and watch anime. And then like I just realized I'm not a 2-screen guy, and I'm so ingratiated in my fucking Bloons Tower Defense.
I like can't imagine being a 1-screen guy.
I lock into whatever I'm doing.
I'm like hopping on Pokemon Go every 15 minutes throughout Castle in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just
because there's more Pokemon in your house. Isn't that a walk around thing?
Yeah, but if you just watch, right? I'll just fucking bloop bloop bloop, Squirtle.
Why are the Pokemon coming to you?
No. Well,
you need a Pokemon Go outside to get these fucking things.
Look, you got a Pokemon Go to the polls if you're going to anything. But if you just by
the way, I personally endorse Hillary Clinton to replace.
Let's go. She's making a comeback.
Yeah, bring her back.
I forgot that's also news.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking, what's his face?
Yeah, fucking one of the fucking, one of the guys.
He doesn't want to be president anymore. It's too tough for him.
Oh, it's too tough.
Oh, it's too hard.
I can't hold a conversation.
I couldn't get a job in literally any other workplace.
Oh, fucking, we need to put, oh my God, we need to make Joe Biden a fucking, like, In-N-Out employee for the next 4 years. Like,
dude, I saw thing
Joe, fucking French fries, let's go. Him and Deku, put the fries in the bag, bro. Jesus Christ.
I saw, like, Jon Stewart, who was, like, a comedian talking about it, and he's like, yeah, if you think about it, Biden wouldn't get hired at literally any job he applied to. He probably shouldn't be president. So it's sick he dropped out.
That's good news for everybody. So we watched Castle in the Sky.
Yep.
Do you want to lead with Castle in the Sky, or do we want to talk about...
Probably should at least talk about some anime.
I would like to talk about the show... Yeah, we're a half hour in. Fucking Japanese today.
Had a lot going on this week.
I feel like I haven't seen you in weeks.
I haven't even talked about EVO.
Holy shit.
That's
I feel like we should talk about EVO.
I'll get to it in my news.
Okay. Yeah. So me and Danny have been listening to your guys' comments, and by listening to your guys' comments, it's Stank yelling at us about not listening to your guys' comments and then conveying your comments to us. And apparently, there's a lot of people, Stank being one of them, that are like, oh, this season's totally packed. What are you talking about? There's the elusive samurai and Wisteria, magic and sword or something. And so we decided, you know what? Maybe you guys know what you're talking about. Maybe you guys do have an idea of what's going on after all. And so we decided to watch some of these anime you guys have been recommending.
You want to start with one of those?
I'm gonna start with Wisteria because you didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But Stank, basically, he prefaced this by being like, one of these comes out every season. There is a 12 episode show. Sometimes it's more. Like Chivalry of the Failed Knight, The Irregular at Magid School, the Something at Demon King Academy. There's just one of these and then Wisteria, Sword, and Mashal, Black Clover. Right. Black Clover and Mashal are the best to ever do it. The best to ever do the trope of, there's a magic system, I don't have it, I'm using something else to overcome the magic system.
Right.
Everything else, it's a long analogy for somebody being upset about the fact that they weren't popular in high school. Like, it's just like, everyone was mean to me, but then I showed them that I was the strongest with my big old sword. And Wisteria is one of the most soulless anime I've ever watched in my entire life. It is 1 part Kaiju number 8, 1 part Tower of God, 1 part Mashal, and it does none of those 3 things as well as it does, like as those original anime do. It throws you into genuinely episode 3. Like, I had to check several times while watching episode 1 to make sure I hadn't missed the first 2 episodes, because they're just like, oh, he's in the dungeon and he's in school. Like, they don't even like, I don't think I know the main character's name. I think they might have said it in passing a couple times, but they never introduced the character like at all.
Weird.
And like basically the story is this kid is going to a magic school. He wants, and so like Mashal, but he doesn't have magic. So right. Mashal. There's a giant tower
of God
that needs to be climbed, and at the top of it is all the most powerful people, Tower of God. And at the top of that tower is a childhood female friend of the MC's who they made a promise together to become the Magus Lupi or something, and she did it and he didn't.
Wow.
So Kaiju number 8.
Yeah, wow.
But what this does have going for it is that it's JJK season 2 level gorgeous.
Whoa.
It is.
All right, what does this look like?
It's called Wisteria, Sword and Magic, the Soul and I don't remember what it's called.
Well, if I type in Wisteria, all I get is the plant.
Yep, yeah. Wisteria.
Wisteria.
Oh, okay. That works as well. It is, I don't know, like it instills, it may not necessarily like show you exactly how pretty it is, but there's a fight at the end of episode 1. And it's like you know how like, oh, we need to display how powerful this person is. Let's throw in that monster shouldn't be on this floor monster, you know?
Yeah.
So they're in like the 7th floor of the dungeon. There's like the main character's looking for this like monster that's worth 4 credits. And they're like, that monster's worth 10 credits. And the bullies that followed them into the dungeon are getting like beaten up by the monster. And he's like, should I save them? I'll save them. And then he saves them. And the bully's still like fucking mean to him. Like I genuinely have seen this anime no less than a dozen times.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's so exhausting to just be like, oh, it's so pretty, but fucking can we write something new?
I know, when there's so much like so many anime that are like feeling so fresh, like fucking what's the food one? Delicious in Dungeon.
Delicious in Dungeon. Like so fresh. Yeah, all pun intended.
Super fresh, super pun. And that's like a dungeon crawling one.
Yep.
But and even though it's just like, oh, they're just cooking the monsters.
Yeah.
It feels so new and it's got so much soul.
Yeah, because you care about all the characters. All the characters have cool backstories that like get fleshed out. Like, what's really cool about Delicious in Dungeon is that they show the character backstories through the medium of the storytelling, not necessarily being like, this is Lloyd, cut back to Lloyd's backstory. And that's kind of what I feel like this story's trying to do. They're trying to like build out these character like dynamics, but I just don't give a shit about anybody.
You don't give a hoot.
I don't give a goddamn hoot. So it's cool. I'm probably gonna watch the second episode.
You always do this.
I don't want to give up on it after one episode. And it's
but don't be like, yeah, I don't fucking give a shit. I hate this shit. But it's cool. It's good.
But it's cool. Is it transitory? Is it it's like a segue saying for me.
Just be like, it sucks, but
it's the story is a 2.0.
Uh-huh.
The animation is 10. It's like there's a fight against the super high level monster, and it's solo leveling like Jinwoo. It's like Jinwoo versus Igris the Blood Red.
Right.
Like that level of like movement, like fucking like stakes, all of that. So like if you're looking for just like a total like shut your brain off and see some really cool animation and some really cool fights, kind of what Suicide Squad was supposed to be.
You're going to find yourself watching another Shangri-La Frontier.
Where I'm just like, oh, this looks good. It's got cool fights. I'm 9 episodes in. I don't care about any of these people. Yeah. Shangri-La Frontier got a second season.
At Anime Expo, they had a big fucking Birdman statue.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know, man.
We're not in touch.
Are we too old? Is that like genuinely like, I feel like sometimes there would be like anime that are just like, everyone's like, oh my God, this is the thing. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, it kind of sucks. It just fucking sucks.
I was wondering that with Pokemon, actually, where I was like looking at old Pokemon that I consider to be like classics, you know, like a Charizard, like a fucking Bulbasaur and stuff like that.
Gen 1.
Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 even, because I love Gen 3.
Gen 4 through 7 is the dark ages for me.
Well, that's what I feel. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, I wonder what Pokemon, like, kids today, like, newer Pokemon gens coming out, I wonder what kids are like, that's a classic design. That's a banger. That's a banger design from Black and White.
I guess it depends on when you were born, right? So,
well, exactly. But I'm like, I think there is a sense of like rose-tinted goggles, because I feel like if like Blaziken, Sceptile, and Swampert came out today, I'd be like, this is no Gloobu, Shmoobu, and DB.
What's so funny is I feel like the 3 starters we got from this most recent gen are some of the best starters we've ever gotten. But a lot of people don't feel that way. Like I love the water type, the dancing bird.
The fire one's sick. Just a big crocodile, Skeledirge.
Yes, I was gonna say Coco, but that's his first generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought these starters were awesome. But I think it's like I got into Pokemon when I was like 6 or 7. It's like Game Boy, Red kind of thing. Right. And so like whenever you're 6 or 7, whatever generation that is, I feel like you tie your roots back to. Like Sun and Moon, Black and White, nothing.
No.
I couldn't name 4 Pokemon from those generations.
Yeah. No, I feel that. But I was wondering like what are going to be in like 10 years? What are the new classic Pokemon designs and anime? But it's like, but also I don't even know if it's so much people getting old or us getting old as much as it is a lot of people just kind of turn their brain off, like, or are like able to turn their brain off and be like, oh, they fought in it. I liked that. That's enough, you know? Yes. Because I mean, we watch every fucking anime, and so we're like comparing it to every fucking
and we have to come on and we have to like talk about it, and like it has to be like slightly compelling enough to like, I don't know. Also, you have made me more of a douchebag. I'll come out and say it.
Thanks.
Because I was the person who could just be like, big booby and a lot of punchy.
And now you're like, the sound design is actually.
I don't think the music track that they like chose agreed with the action of the scene. I'm a fucking asshole now, and I hate that. I do like that though, because this isn't the only anime that people told us to watch, and the other anime people told us to watch is actually really fucking good.
It's fucking incredible. And Stank texted us, and he was like, let me see this stupid-ass, dumb-ass, dead-ass text.
Yep. Stank being like, oh, you guys should watch Samurai. I've heard it's pretty good. And it's like genuinely one of the better things we've had in seasons.
It's insane.
Do you want to know? You want to know a little factoid?
He goes, Self Better Wisteria is literally Mashal. Yeah, at some
Wisteria,
point,
first off, is not Mashal. Like it's like if you like took Mashal and you dunked it in acid until all of the fun bits rode directly off. It's Mashal without the comedy.
Yeah, right. But Stank said something along the lines of like, yeah, you know, Elusive Samurai is pretty good. It's like pretty generic, paint by the numbers, but like it's got good animation. It's fucking sick.
It's awesome.
It's incredible. I only saw the first episode.
Yeah,
Does
I've
it
seen all 3.
Does it stay good?
It stays very good.
It's fucking great.
It's dark.
The first episode's dark.
It's just like his retainers and his vassals like slitting their throats and like they're just like getting decapitated and all that. It's really good. Can I tell you why you like it?
Go on.
Who do you think the director is?
Is it Mushoku Tensei? No.
Wonder Egg Priority. Yeah.
Holy, and I do not say this lightly, shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One of my favorite anime of all time.
I know.
One of the most underrated anime ever. Also gorgeous.
Also gorgeous, yes.
The reason I said Mushoku Tensei is because other than Mushoku Tensei, I've never seen an anime, and JJK season 1 or season 2 sometimes, never seen an anime actively try to look like it's from the 90s. Like, this has, like, film grain on it.
I guess, yeah.
In the way that, like, the VHS scenes in JJK season 2. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It looks like
You're talking about like the ending where they have like the little camcorder.
Yeah, and it's like it looks like,
or when like Yuji does his he's does a backstory, like he like sees himself eating with Chozo.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like you popped in a VHS of like an anime in the 90s, but it looks pretty. This has that look where it like feels so, it's got a lot of CG, like the backgrounds. And it does CG backgrounds as well as Demon Slayer, I'd say. But like just every frame's gorgeous. At the end of the first episode, when he's just fucking dodging through people and they're cutting each other
like
up.
An arrow hit the horse, and like they're decapitating, stabbing each other. Yeah.
It's fucking great. There's a sick part when you said it's dark. Episode 1 is very like tame for the first half. And I'm sitting there, I always think this when watching an anime. I'm like, what's this rated? Because you never know when an anime is going to be rated like the hardest R you've ever seen in your life. I'm like, what's this rated? And there's a part where he like is playing with like a soccer ball and he throws it up onto a roof and then it falls down and then it cuts to a head.
Yeah.
It's sick. Do you want to briefly explain what it's about? So
Aloof Seminar, it's based off historical events. It's based off the following of Kamakura and I forget the name, the Hojo family. So it's during the Edo period. It's like 1380s-ish. So it's before the unification of Japan, I believe. Or it's actually, no, Oda Nobunaga unifies Japan around 1168, I believe. So it's in the Edo period when Kamakura was like the capital. So Japan's had like so many goddamn capitals. And so it's about the fall of the Hojo clan under like it's like kind of like Kingdom, where it's like a historical retelling, but like fantastical, obviously. So all of the characters that you're going to see in the story are real historical figures in Japan and is going to loosely follow their stories. Right. But the main character is known as the elusive samurai because their fame was that you could never hit them. They were slippery. But they would never fight back. So it was a samurai who like you couldn't kill basically. So his entire superpower is just like basically Deku's danger sense, where like he knows that he's in danger like at any moment and like can like snap out of things. And so he uses his defensive fighting style to like work people into either killing each other, killing themselves, or having his vassals like create an opening so that he can kill somebody. And it's really good. Yeah. There is a Shinto priest who is my favorite character outside of Shizuku. Shizuku's awesome. The one who's insecure about his his fortune telling. Yeah. There's Shizuku, and then Shizuku is his daughter. So the Shinto priest takes him to Suwa, which is this famous shrine, and like raises him up in Suwa and like gets him vassals, and he has to try and take back Kamakura from I guess it was a vassal, but to his father, who was like a puppet shogunate, or puppet shogun. Well, so he has to retake it over. Well, I was just gonna say that's where like the elusiveness comes in, where like his father was the shogunate, right? Yeah. His father was the shogunate, and he's what's called like a puppet shogunate, where like Shogun. Yeah. Shogunate is like the system. Shogun is the title. I see. Yeah. He's like a puppet shogun. Sorry. Jesus Christ. He's like a puppet shogun where he is just a figurehead and his like vassals, or like if you're into Game of Thrones, like his hand is essentially like running the country. And that's where they learn to be elusive, because as long as like all that matters is that they're alive, and they're frequently there's frequent assassination attempts, and so that's where he learns to be all slippery. Yeah. And because he doesn't want to do any of his like martial arts or archery training, it's like he's like running away from people. So the main character is really interesting. I love him. Like he's like a compelling character with a cool backstory, a cool power, like a very unique story being told. And then there's like a Reagan character for those of you who like Mob Psycho. Like the Shinto priest is very Reagan. Like he's like kind of a con man who like may or may not be super powerful. It gets revealed later on that like he may be super powerful.
Why are you saying reveals?
I'm saying it may be revealed. Like it's like the same thing with Reagan, where you dance around with the idea that he might be powerful the entire time. And then he's got a daughter who's really funny. She's just kind of there for like the bits. And then eventually he like gathers more vassals. There's a super like Mahito level stylized when Mahito's like flipping through all the different animals in the battle against.
Oh wow.
Robo. What is?
Robo Shoujo.
What was his goddamn name?
So
Mekamaru.
He looks so disgusted. What was it? Fucking name?
That's my thing. I remember things. There's like that level stylized fight against a character in like episode 2 and 3, and there's like they turn the character into like an oni, and they do that thing. They do that thing that happens. I'm trying to think of like what other anime it happens with. Like they make super dark lines and they get like fuzzy. They get like it's kind of like Yuji
like
versus
Attack on Titan.
Kind of like it's like where it's like Yuji versus Mahito, where like you like when the like a bunch of force is getting behind a punch or something, where it's like super like sketchy black huge lines for their outlines.
That's right.
They do such a good job of like turning him into a demon. It's so sick.
So does it get like magical actually, or because in episode 1 there's a part and it's very cool. It's right after the head drop, and the head drops and you're like, oh, this is a little dark, but that wasn't really gory. And then there's a part where you see the army, like the Shogun's military, and they're like, all right, we're ready to do war.
Yeah.
And then one guy just kind of like gives a weird look, like he feels something weird, and then he gets cubed.
Yeah, he just gets diced.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, maybe this is like fucking magic.
No, there's not like magic. Like that was just like the guy next to him just diced him. Like he's really fast.
Oh, just diced him.
Just diced him, cat. Just atomic samurai'd him.
So it's like, but that explains it well, where it's like, it's like Vinland Saga.
There's kind of magic.
Gotcha.
Gods exist. Shinto gods exist.
Gotcha.
But like they're not like shooting fireballs or anything.
Right.
They just like kind of have the ability to like augment the weather.
Yeah. It reminds me in tone of Vinland Saga, where I have this vibe that the like mangaka or writer, I don't know if this is based on a manga or not, but I have this like,
I don't know.
It feels like the writer is like an actually really intelligent man.
Mm-hmm.
Not to like put down,
Woman.
Whoa, let's go.
Yeah.
Fuck. Only women make the good ones.
I know. We've actually been on quite the fucking.
Wow.
Oh wait, no, wait, no, wait, wait. Man,
rats.
Sorry, he kind of looked like a lady.
Bad show. Piece of shit.
I was looking at a photo this big, and his name is Yusei, and I feel like that's a very genderless name. But it is a man. It is a man.
Well,
boo,
men
canceled. Oh, it's the creator of Assassination Classroom.
Whoa, this dude's crazy.
This dude is hold up. The creator is Yusei Matsui, who I believe, is known for Assassination Classroom.
That's crazy.
So I guess this would be his second project.
Wow, that really flies in the face of everything I was about to say about his intelligence.
He was an assistant on Yoshio Sawa, the manga artist of Bobo 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 Bobo.
I fucking love Bobo 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 Bobo.
And 3 of his manga, Supernatural Detective, Assassination Classroom, and The Elusive Samurai, were serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump. So this guy created Assassination Classroom, Bobo 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 Bobo, and The Elusive Samurai.
What a weirdo.
This guy's on a generational run. That's crazy.
Wow. What a guy. I don't know if... Because this feels like smarter than Assassination Classroom.
I guess, yeah.
It's just like, Assassination Classroom so...
It's kind of a similar thing, though. It's like a story, like, you need to get strong, you need to build out a team in order to kill this, like, very powerful entity.
But Assassination Classroom is so fucking stupid, where Nagisa is like, I have the one move no assassin can deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're never ready for it. Yeah. They're never ready for just a clap in the face.
I do it to our fans every single time I start this podcast, and they're still not used to it. They don't know that it starts the podcast. Without that, we have no physical ability to start the pod.
That's true.
Yeah.
We can't. Our hands are tied contractually.
Well, until they're clapping. So that is very fun. If we're going to be talking about any anime of those two for the rest of the season, it's going to be Elusive Samurai, which is huge.
If we're going to be talking about any anime this season, it's Elusive Samurai.
Yeah, because we've already dropped Suicide Squad because it's bad. Yeah. And I am now 13 episodes into Frieren.
How is it?
It's so fucking good, Danny.
Really?
It's so fucking good.
Is it like a similar like Dungeon Meshy situation where it's just a good happy? No.
No.
Turn into a fucking Fire Force sound effect.
No, it's very different from Dungeon Meshy in the fact that like Dungeon Meshy is like it's like silly until it's not. And Frieren has silly times, but it's still a very serious story throughout.
So Frieren's like serious until it's silly.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It's serious until proven silly. Dungeon Meshy is silly until proven serious.
Your Honor.
Yeah. I was goofing. I was like 3 children are dead.
Your Honor, pranked.
Yeah, fucking. It was sir legally binding.
It's not my fault. I tripped a kid and then he fell into 3.
It's not my fault. He had 2 knives. So the show. So my notes. Because I've been like watching it and I'm like. I'm going to try and watch the entire 24 episodes. So I'm like, I can't have that many notes. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The show's so pretty. The animation is fantastic. The art style is really cool. It's just like very colorful. The dub is one of the best dubs I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's great news.
Fern, Stark, not Stark, and Frieren all have like incredible voice anyone they bring in has an incredible voice actor. Like we've been watching the Ghibli movies recently. And those were dubbed in like the 80s, and they're not good. Like the dubs are objectively worse than the subs for the Ghibli movies.
Strange. They're so unique, and we'll get into it.
So fast. There's no time to breathe whatsoever.
They're so fast, but they're all like, they do more like humanism isms than other like they'll do like someone be like, hey, you need a hand with that? No, I got it. Like, oh, well, all right. Like other anime really wouldn't include the, oh, well, okay.
They really do trail off so often.
Yeah.
There's always like some kind of background. Like they're like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, oh, good. And there's like, anytime a boy is running down the street, he's having like 3 conversations with passerbys. And they're like full flesh conversations.
You're always hearing like a village at work.
Yeah.
You know, it's always like, what are we having for dinner tonight? A squirrel. That'll be tasty.
Yeah,
I don't fucking care.
Yeah, you fucking just keep running. Yeah. But so the dub is so good. Frieren's voice actress is incredible. It's like, I saw this thing where somebody was like, oh, dubs are bad. And then it's just the most gorgeous woman you've ever heard talking before. And it's a picture of Frieren. Like her voice actress, the sexiest voice known to man. Whoa. Every 3 episodes also feels like a different season of a show. Like it just like, there's like the first.
Fast paced or?
No, well, kind of. It's paced correctly. I'm not going to say it's not Fire Force. It's not One Piece. It's like, it gets as much of the story done as you would like in the timing that you would enjoy it in. But every 3 episodes, like they're in a different village or they're like on like every, like usually an arc, like a story, like if they're in a different village or a monster pops up, it's dealt with in 2 to 3 episodes.
Right.
So that keeps happening every 3 episodes. And then like, they don't really do like the travel bit. So it's just like 3 episodes are in this village, 3 episodes is like this village, and it feels different.
Oh, and they're just there.
Kind of, yeah. And then it just feels different every single time.
It's cool.
And it's like, it feels like, you know how people are like, oh, I love One Piece because I feel like I'm on the journey. Frieren actually, like, and One Piece does it as well, I guess. But like, Frieren makes you feel like you're on the journey.
That's good.
Yeah. And so it's awesome. There's also a moment, like, Frieren's just like, she's super, like, she's this little elf. She's like 1,000 years old. She gets caught in mimics all the time, but she has these moments where she just like ascends to godhood as the most powerful mage on earth. And it's so dope. There's a line. I don't know if I should say it. What? Potential spoilers for Frieren. There's a line where she is battling against this demon and she's just like, Aura, kill yourself. And then like, it's just like, there's so many edits of it. It's just super, super cool. It's as close to art in anime as I've ever seen. It's as close to art like in anime as I've ever seen as Vinland. Like if you want to watch a show that feels like Vinland, Frieren is it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I've been watching all these other things and I'm like, I just want to be watching. Like I genuinely couldn't pay attention during Wisteria because I was like, I'm not watching Frieren right now.
Fuck. I'm in this weird limbo of my channel right now because I know I should react to Frieren.
Because it's only like Frieren's like top 6 on Tumblr's favorite IPs. And like, oh, I got 5 more between this and Owl City season 7.
I'm in this weird, speaking of like what you said about Frieren achieving godhood.
Yeah.
In Owl City, aka the Owl House, I've been watching. I'm on like episode 16 now, and it's this girl who gets like yoinked in this magical world. She gets isekai essentially.
Okay.
It's literally an isekai.
By an owl.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like Alice in Wonderland with an owl, and it's an isekai.
How does Alice?
She gets isekai'd.
Does she take a pill? No, she takes a pill when she's in there. How does she get
No,
isekai?
she takes mushrooms actually. But she
course.
she chases this rabbit and then falls down a hole, and then she's like, I'm here.
You're fucking.
I got a
this
trick.
cat will stop fucking smiling.
Yeah, but she so this girl Luz in the Owl House, Luz.
Okay.
Which is actually light in some dead ass language, I'm sure.
Luz?
Luz? Isn't it light? It's light in Spanish. Luz.
Say it again.
Luz.
Luz?
Luz.
Luz? I don't know. I don't think it's. That doesn't feel right to me. But continue.
Right.
I'll look it up.
All right. But it would make so much sense because she does light magic. But anyway, she's a human. Everyone's like, you can't do magic. You need a heart tumor to be able to do magic.
Feels like something I shouldn't need.
It's crazy.
It is Luz. You're right.
Let's go.
Dead ass language.
Dead ass.
You speak Spanish? Forget it.
Dead ass, gay ass
Language. Get it out of here.
But yeah, in their world, they're like magic starts right here, and then she pulls up a diagram, and it's a huge tumor attached to her heart, and she's like, "You need this tumor." But anyway,
So she's just chain smoking Marlboro Reds for the rest of the show.
but so Luz figures out how to do magic in a way no one else can, but it's a really slow process, and I have been feeling like such a proud parent anytime she learns how to make a fucking bubble. What? That's Frieren or what?
It's exactly what I said about Bocchi the Rock. And you just.
Oh yeah.
You just.
But this one's like good. Like things happen
shit on
in
it.
this.
And you just shit on it. I was like, oh my God, look at Bocchi. She's gaining the confidence to play in front of her entire school by episode 12. And you're like, oh, this is dumb. Music is stupid. I hate girls.
This gets stupid. This dumbass, gay ass art form.
So fucking, I hate guitars.
Yeah.
I hate women.
Uh-huh.
You're fucking ridiculous.
I hate them most when they're at girl age, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not Kodiko.
Is that confirmed?
On a podcast, at least.
Wow.
Is it too late now to say sorry? Did you see that?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking
You didn't see that? Oh, Kodiko, who cut me in line at VidCon.
Stink cut that.
He did. Stop cutting it when I say cut me in line at VidCon. He did. Hasn't like came out about the whole like minor thing. My problems are okay as well. All right, hasn't come out about the minor thing at all. And he hasn't said anything about it. And he has he's residency in Vegas as a DJ. And so somebody took a video of him playing "Sorry" by. Is it too late now? Is it
Bieber?
Justin Bieber?
Yeah,
and he was just like. And everyone was like, "This is so Colleen Ballinger coded." Everyone was like,
funny.
"Yeah, it was very funny."
I hope you all enjoyed that soon to be cut bit, because Stank is just a fucking butcher when it comes to Cody.
Stank is Kodiko's #1 defender. He's like, no, nobody will expose my king.
I don't know, Cody. I don't give a shit.
Coming in line.
But I know it's okay.
Coming in line.
But anyway, I get it now. I get the pride thing. Unless you're talking about a gay ass language like Spanish. But anyway.
Okay, Shane Gillis. Fucking pump the brakes here. Now I feel like you. I'm just like, every time you're like,
You don't like
gay,
the pit?
you're like, this gay as fuck. I'm just like, Danny, those are half of our fans.
But anyway,
I'm
Frieren
gonna kiss
sounds
Danny
cool.
at the end of this to prove we're not homophobic.
Oh, I'm at this crossroads because Owl House is gay, baby. I get a pass.
Yeah,
it's
you
this.
do.
It's
It's
metal.
that. It's a steel card they give to every Owl House watcher.
But
You've just been letting me call it Owl City?
yeah,
Okay, well.
I've corrected you. You know it's not Owl City.
I don't. Hey, Danny, I don't. Didn't know it existed until you were like, I looked up the #1 Tumblr IP.
But no, I'm at this crossroads because I just finished Vanitas finally, as it was dragging my channel into the depths. It was getting not great views.
It's just not a good show.
It's so fine. It gets better in season 2, but it only gets up to fine.
Yeah.
But now I'm at this like crossroads because I have all this shit. I want to I watched the first 2 episodes of Toilet Bound
Hanako.
Hanako.
Yep.
Fun.
Very popular.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, it's very fun.
I like it.
There's a lot of it as well.
There's 12 episodes. A whole whopping 12 episodes.
Is that 12 episodes?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of the manga.
Season 2 is coming out soon.
Gotcha.
But it's pretty fun. But there's that. There's like fucking Frieren that I want to watch because he just gave it the most glowing review ever.
It's very good.
Yeah. So
You'll like it. It's better than anything outside. I'd say it's the best anime of this year. I'd say if there was a top 3 anime, Dungeon Meshi, Frieren, Season 2 of JJK.
Wow.
Those are like the 3 anime that have made me feel like, oh my God, I do like anime.
Maybe I'll get to that before Toilet Bound. But anyway.
There's 24 episodes.
Yeah, that's true. Boy.
What?
Should we talk about My Hero?
Oh, yeah. Should we talk about My Hero?
Yeah.
I think we should talk about My Hero.
Good animation. Tokoyami did a fucking special beam cannon.
Tokoyami?
What's his name? Clam Hands.
Clam Hands?
Clam Hands.
That's not Tokoyami.
What's his name?
Tokoyami is Dark Shadow.
Oh, what's his name? I bet it's a Toko something.
There's so many Tokos. There's so many Chimera.
If I
People are going to hate this.
Sun Eater is the superhero name.
Yeah. People are going to hate this, though.
What?
Like, everyone loves him.
I like him.
I like him, too, but, like, we forgot his name.
Oh, fucking, there's a billion characters. Jackasses.
Well, that being said, I could tell you right now, Nejire and Mirio. So...
Clam Hands.
Clam Hands. You could have just typed Sun Eater.
Tamaki. I'm so close.
You genuinely were. That's much better than I would have done.
Tamaki Ama Jiki.
Yeah.
And he's getting Jiki with it.
Oh, yeah?
He was pretty cool. He was combining shit.
Yep.
And he did a big... It's funny because he did a big multi-animal laser cannon.
Yep.
Could have just done like alligator and then the laser cannon one.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know how much like the horse you ate is augmenting your fucking rail gun.
Also, what did he eat to get Nejire's thing?
Nejire's energy.
Just ate it?
Yeah. You can see she's like blasting Shigaraki, and then there's like a little loop of energy that goes around Shigaraki, and it's being fed into him.
Oh, I
yeah.
see.
So he's like channeling her energy in like a much more concrete and condensed way.
Can I ask you something?
Absolutely.
Is this season not fit to be an anime? Because, hear me out.
Because
episode.
There's too much stuff.
Not even every episode is just they try something on Shigaraki and it doesn't do a goddamn thing. And they do that every episode. It's been like 14 episodes.
Oh, you're gonna hate the ending of JJK. You are going to hate the ending of JJK a lot.
This season, I don't even hate it. I'm not like bored as hell, but I'm not that excited but in a manga, I think it'd work better because it's just one big fight and you just fly through it. Here it's like, oh, this episode, fucking Tokoyami flies in. He's probably gonna do nothing. Does nothing.
Yep.
Mirio and crew come in. What are they gonna do? Nothing.
Yep.
Bakugo comes in. What's he gonna do? Spoiler. Die.
Yep, yeah. Fully die.
They do nothing. It doesn't make a fucking dent on him. And it's just Dragon Ball. It's literally the Saiyan Saga. It's literally Frieza. It's a bunch of people doing nothing, waiting for Goku.
That's incredibly fair.
That's exactly what it is.
That's a very apt conclusion you've come to.
The only thing that broke it up was them defeating Fire Guy. Dabi.
Who?
I don't know if I guess maybe defeated. We just kind of left. Like, who knows what's going on there.
Yeah. If you're not a big fan of drawn out fights.
But it's not even that. I like a drawn out fight. I like a big, long fight. Demon Slayer did it way better. Yeah.
Because they don't throw all the side characters at it and be like, oh, look, they're getting their time. And then in actuality, they're not getting their time. They're just padding out the story.
Well, it's not. That's the issue with Demon Slayer season 2.
Bleach does that a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
They're like, oh, you almost got him. Oh, you almost got him. And they just throw because they introduce. The issue with a story with a ton of characters is everybody is going to want, like, everyone has a different favorite character.
Yeah.
And they're all going to want their favorite character to get a time in the sun. And then their different favorite character gets defeated until eventually the main character shows up and wins.
Here's how you fix that.
Yep.
Because I like a long drawn out fight. No, you don't even have to. I like a long drawn out fight. Just make each individual character actually like chip away at the issue.
Yeah.
Make them do something. That's why Demon Slayer season 2 worked, is because they're all getting in on the action.
Yeah.
And it's like
Genya's taking on one of like Huntangu's like split offs kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not just, well, that's season 3. I'm talking about season 2 with Entertainment District.
Gotcha.
Where it's like
Inosuke and like Inosuke and
Daki
and Zenitsu are like cutting out away Daki's neck.
That's the thing.
Nezuko turns into a giant demon and stomps her head.
Yeah, there's a bunch of hurdles to overcome, and they do overcome each of them. It's not just Gyotaro shows up and they try a bunch of shit for 12 episodes, and then eventually it works. And he just seems invincible the whole time. Because that's also the issue, is that Shigaraki isn't even like losing limbs or anything.
Nope.
With this, or with Demon Slayer, it's like they fight Daki, they get her fucking like pushed to the limit, and then Nezuko freaks out and he's got to deal with Nezuko, and then they've like essentially defeated Daki, then her brother shows up.
Yeah.
Now you got to deal with 2. And then they've essentially defeated Daki again, but now you have to deal with just Gyotaro. And so it's like they are accomplishing goals.
Yeah.
And Naruto does it well sometimes too, where it's like everyone has their favorite character. You're right. And there's a billion of them.
Yeah.
What do you do when you need to pad out time? Give every individual side character side villains to fight.
Yeah.
Like when you have that bit with, Naruto's got to fight Gaara, let fucking Choji fight the bad fat guy. Let Shikamaru fight Flute Girl.
Yeah. You're mixing up your arcs, but yeah.
Am I?
You're talking the Naruto fights Gaara in the Konoha Crush arc. You're talking Sasuke Retrieval.
Yeah.
There isn't really a side fight in the Naruto, like in the Konoha Crush arc. It's kind of just a Orochimaru versus Hiruzen, and then Sasuke gets his ass kicked by Gaara, but it's also like that's important for his character development.
Yeah,
So like outside of like that doesn't fall into the same categorization because that's supposed to show Sasuke that Naruto's getting stronger than him.
Right. But it's like, just give them like have fucking someone kill Spinner.
Yeah.
Or whatever while this is going on. Show me things are being accomplished.
Yeah. That kind of happens. That gets fleshed out. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen concurrently. So the war arc, the way that it's like laid out in the MHA, like in MHA, is that there's the big fights. Obviously, the battle against All For One is a big fight. The battle against Shigaraki is a big fight. But we'll step away from the big fights for 6-7 chapters and flesh out an entire mini fight.
Yeah.
So like Spinner, Dobby, the other jailbreakers, those kinds of things. Like certain characters from MHA who are like, because they warped everybody to different parts of Japan. Those characters like the what's her name? Otaku versus Toga fight.
Yeah, Toga.
Like all of those fights get their time in the sun and they just kind of get completed, and then you come back to the Shigaraki fight.
I think that's what would help this season, is seeing those more now. Like I feel like the last like 5 episodes, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the last 5 episodes they've been at like a stalemate.
Yeah.
With Shigaraki.
It's just hands.
It's just they're just throwing hands.
Yeah. And the issue is Shigaraki's character development in terms of power is massively uninteresting.
Yeah.
It's like he is like he's supposed to be the main villain, and the most compelling part of Shigaraki is like the split in his personality, and like, oh, there's Tomura in there, but there's also All For One in there and Shigaraki in there. Outside of that, he just becomes All Might with the ability to create creepy fingers.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying because like he like gets shot with poison and he's like, oh, I can create a mouth on my finger arms so the poison doesn't work on me. Yeah. And like, oh, because this is growth. It's all dumb. Shigaraki is unfortunately the worst part of the war arc for me personally until you get to the end. Yeah. And then he becomes very compelling. Right now, kind of sucks.
It's just tough. Yeah, it's just hands. And I'm like at the point now where like they're in the sky coffin.
Yeah.
And Shigaraki's making hands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just fucking kill them all, Shigaraki. Like, he's too... I like don't buy that they're not all dead.
Yeah.
By now.
They're all just getting smoked. Yeah. And he's just like not finishing the job. It's like, hey man, you have 3 million fingers. Just start pressing some ants here.
Yeah.
Also, but this episode was like really good from like showing the top 3. like, and how they work together. Like Mirio, like wading through the fingers and all of that. And like Nejire's backstory of her being like, oh, she's so interested in how other people's quirks work because her does everything. Like her quirk is so all powerful that she wants like to know about other people's less substantial quirks.
Yeah, what is her quirk? Exactly. I thought she shot laser beams.
She can, but the energy can kind of do anything. She can pick up shit with it. She can hit people with it. She can like charge batteries with it. Like she just kind of has like the force, but it's lightning-ish.
Yeah.
And then the Chimera Blast is all like that. It should do more.
Yeah.
And like unfortunately, all it really does is open up an opening for Bakugo, who doesn't do anything
to die.
To die. Yeah. I want to tell you a little story because you were a manga reader.
Is this a spoiler?
No.
Okay.
Unless the Bakugo dying is a spoiler.
No.
Okay. When this chapter came out, there was a thing in Japan, actually just a thing in the MHA fandom referred to as the Bakugo 13. Does that bring anything to you?
Yeah, I think you told me about
13 people killed themselves when this chapter came out because Bakugo died.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts? Only the MHA fandom.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. Hey, man, wait a week. You know, like, I don't know, like, see if it's for real, you know?
See this through.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe, like, Nejire hits him in the chest with, like, an energy blast and it brings him back. Like, wait 7 days.
Maybe, like, watch a second show. Or, like, read another manga.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that is wild.
But how'd you feel about it? How'd you feel about Bakugo's death?
It was crazy. It was pretty dramatic. It was pretty intense.
They made him real dead.
Yeah.
They drew like he's like in the manga, you know, he's like laid out. They made him like pale. They made like his eyes pale.
Yeah.
They made him real dead in this.
It was sick. I like the fucking. I wish he never told me that this was rushed because I feel it so frequently and so hard. Because this show has such a bad case of like cutting to exposition where like unnaturally.
Yeah.
But like him being like he's been building up balls of sweat and that made him super fast.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, he can like now do it. Like I genuinely forgot that he could only secrete his like nitroglycerin from his hands, and like, oh no, he can do it from his whole body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would that make him fast? Why wouldn't that just make him explode?
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's like a wider surface area, maybe, but that wouldn't necessarily lead to like a faster explosion. Like if he has more explosive in his hands, it's a matter of how much explosives you have.
No, it was sick. The only reason I'd love to have come on this podcast and been like, that's crazy. And I feel like people are going to think it's weird that I'm like, yeah, it was cool. It's because you fucking told me about it last week.
Sorry.
That's why I'm like, oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
It was well done.
It was off screen. I didn't tell him on screen.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I didn't spoil it for you guys. But Danny was like, oh, I watched a new episode of like MHA, and like I know it was gonna happen. And I was like, oh, the one where Bakugo dies? And
yeah,
he was
and I was like, why wouldn't you just be like, which one?
Yeah.
Why would you take a guess?
I forgot how long the battle against Shigaraki is, okay?
You know what we didn't talk about last week?
What?
I fucking love that episode. Endeavor blasting fire out of his eyeballs.
Yep.
So cool. So
we didn't
sick.
talk about that last week?
You didn't watch it.
You're right, I didn't.
Yeah.
It's a great fight.
It's
him losing his hand and then creating a firearm. So dope.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like the best. It's the highlight of the season.
But
for me
also,
so far.
all for one, like turning to dust and being like, oh, you thought you were the only one who like gets stronger when he's backed into a corner. Sick. Yeah. All for one, such a good villain. I love him.
You know what else has like resulted in my disconnect from the Bakugo death, which really sucks, and it's my
Your general
own
dislike
issue.
of him as a character?
No, he's fine.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I watched seasons 1 through 5 in dub.
Okay.
And now because of my job, I have to watch them in sub.
Okay.
And so it doesn't even feel like the same character.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of fair.
So it's like like the whole season.
I can't really watch MHA's dub.
I like it.
It's been memed. Listen, the dub is good, but it's been memed so hard that I kind of just giggle whenever I hear it.
I like my shonen to have like some camp to it.
Okay.
You know?
I guess, yeah.
And so they're all I like what they're all doing in the dub. But yeah, it's like this whole season and season 6 hasn't felt like the same characters. Like I have like a level of separation.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't.
That's not the Bakugo I know.
Yeah, it's not the Bakugo I know. And when he's like being like, have you been going through this the whole time, Deku? I'm like, man, this would be cool to hear my Bakugo say, but my Bakugo's a dick still. Like
that's fair. Yeah, all of the character development Bakugo ever gets, you've now kind of missed. because this season and last season are really good for Bakugo. Like Bakugo, like the first 4 seasons, I despised him. And like he's genuinely, I think he's one of the more compelling and interesting characters in modern anime because I think he does the trajectory that Sasuke was trying to do in Naruto much better than he does. He's awful in the beginning. I hate the fuck out of him. He's a bully. And then slowly but surely he becomes more empathetic of what Deku's been going through and Deku's struggles and powers. And it all comes to this moment of him dying after realizing what Deku's gone through. And I think it's a really good character development. He's very well written, but yeah, it is rushed.
It's crazy that
wait until they solve racism in 4 chapters.
Well, the rushed bit I felt with Nejiri or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Nejiri, you got it.
Because it's like, fucking, why is this when I'm getting this bit of backstory here?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many instances where people are like doing this fight and then it's like, oh, I gotta flesh them out because the story's wrapping up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fucking, like, I don't know. It's so, they just keep shoehorning.
The story ends with an Avengers level on your left moment.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
where, like, it's like every character you've ever met, even tangentially, is like, I'm here now. It's crazy.
But, you know what's crazy?
Yep.
I can't believe they've never done, like, someone turns into a villain. I can't believe Bakugo never at any point becomes a villain.
I mean, they tried.
Well, they try. I mean, the characters tried.
The League of Villains tries, yeah.
I'm just shocked that, like, the writer, the mangaka, was never like, let's make fucking Tail Guy a villain. Everyone, he's sick of their shit. Kind of Ioma.
Yeah.
But then it's over.
But here's the thing, it would have to be of consequence. And, like, the only people that they can make into villains of consequence would be, like, Todoroki, Takayami, Bakugo, or Deku. Everybody else are the Issei, maybe.
Well, but I mean, like, you give them some time. You flesh them out. You know,
guess,
like...
yeah.
Like, Sue would be funny.
Who?
Sue? Frog girl?
Oh, Tsuyu. Yeah, that would be kind of funny. That'd be kind of sick, actually. Like, Deku's about to finish off Shigaraki and, like, a frog tongue snaps around his neck.
That'd be sick. Or, like, yeah, you just give why make a billion side characters in this class if you don't want to...
And then introduce other classes and
Yeah.
other schools and other heroes.
Exactly. Like, it's crazy how Tail Guy, multi-arm guy, Sugar Rush guy, Talk to Animal guy, Tape.
Zeru, yeah.
They get no fucking anything.
They get it eventually in this arc.
Gotcha.
Kind of.
But they'll fight a bit, and then they'll do a flashback mid the fight, and then that's their thing.
Kind of.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing, is like Horikoshi got to this war, and he was like, oh, there's so many characters that all need their send-off, and no, we haven't. I almost said a thing. A character's gonna come back, and you're gonna be like, oh, I don't think they needed more time, and then they get a lot of time. Okay. Like, you're like, genuinely, you're gonna be like, I thought this story was wrapped, we don't need more of this. But like, a lot of characters come out of the blue, and they're like, I'm here, and this is how I end my story. Yeah. And then they kind of just like contribute in the fight for a second, and then they're just gone.
Yeah, he's like, we gotta get the thrilling conclusion to Bubble Girl's arc.
Bubble Girl.
She's the one that Night Eye was like being weird with. She's like Night Eye's intern.
Oh, the tickle one.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Her sole purpose. She was created by a fan. She was a fan design. He did a contest, Horikoshi did a contest and a fan designed her. And he was like, nice, I'm gonna be weird with this shit.
I'm gonna project a lot of my repentant feelings into this.
Yeah.
Repressed.
She'll come back.
That'd be huge.
And she kills Shigaraki.
Yeah, she's just like, you just see bubbles coming out of his mouth.
She's like, I could do this. I could do this the whole time.
I was a fucking tickle monster.
Yeah. Nobody asked.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask, Bubble Girl?
You know what my future says, Night Eye? I'm the hero. But yeah, no. So, I have one more.
Just at Night Eye's funeral, she's just in the background. You just hear, I'm actually glad he's dead. I hate that guy.
Do you know what he fucking did to me?
I fucking hate him.
I have one last note here. Best Genius has BJ over his mouth. That's something I noticed this episode. Is Best Genius just has a big old belt buckle in front of his mouth that just says BJ, and I don't know if that was lost on Horikoshi as a Japanese human being, but I was watching it. And I was like, oh, he's just got blowjob right over his mouth.
It's like in It's like in Dragon Ball Abridged, where they have Vegeta in his pink shirt and it says "Blowjob Queen" on the back.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like, all right. No wonder he's keeping that mouth covered up here.
It says BJ on his mouth and then "fuck" over his crotch.
Yeah, like we marking these out for us.
It's just like they're just
what
like,
holes do what?
They're just like, what's that? He's like, it's best genus. And he's like, yeah, not that one.
Yeah.
What's with
the fuck buckle?
Yeah, what's with the arrow in your ass?
But I do genuinely think this is the best episode that Bones has produced in a long time.
Wow. If you watched the last episode, you would have thought it was that one.
Yeah, I think Bones is actually doing a pretty good job this season.
When Clam Hands blasts Shigaraki,
yeah,
it's like weirdly out of nowhere, incredibly animated.
Yeah.
Like he wiggles on up and does a.
Yeah.
It's sick.
That being said, I think they were catching a lot of the allegations that like this looks better in the manga, and genuinely, like Shigaraki's multiple hand finger things do look way better in the manga because it's not CG. But the entirety of the like war arc is gorgeous, and Horikoshi like barely took any breaks during it. Like it was like basically MHA came out almost every single week for the entirety of the war arc, so he was just.
Dude, every time I pick up my iPad to read manga.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna read My Hero. Like, I gotta read this shit. And I know it'd be like my favorite shit ever.
Yeah.
But then I feel so guilty that I'm still in Skypia. And so then I end up reading One Piece.
Yeah.
And I get a chapter in. And I'm like, this is so fucking boring. And then I throw it away. And then I buy a new one because it breaks every time.
The way we've been so guilted into being like, you need to interact with One Piece. You're just like, the entire world's like, why aren't you interacting with One Piece? And you're like, because it's 1,200 chapters and 400 of them are good.
Dude, I've been seeing clips of like episode like 1103.
Egghead Island looks fucking nuts.
It looks crazy. There's like a melanated Luffy character.
Oh, yeah, with the wings. Yes.
It looks fucking outstanding.
Yeah, Toei's going crazy.
Yeah.
They just also did the Shanks versus Eustace the Kid fight, and that also looks crazy.
Looks nuts.
Yeah.
So that's hype. But yeah, so I'll read the manga at some point because I want to be a big enough fan to buy that statue. Have you seen that statue? With Shigaraki in his final form with the hands.
What do you mean his final form?
I think he's got like a final form looking ass.
Okay, like I don't want to spoil what
That's
Shigaraki's final form is.
In case it's a fucking corpse. Like.
Yo, how final are we talking here? No, he's got this like crazy mech, like black rod, like giant
black rod.
Okay, so that's you definitely haven't
BBC
seen it.
Form.
Yeah.
Let me see. I might have seen it though on Shigaraki's statue. Oh yeah, we're talking about the same thing. No, he gets more final than that.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. But it's this thing where he's got like hands,
like fingers the whole way up.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you'll get there. I mean, we're gonna get like pretty. Like, there's probably gonna be one season after this, so
yeah,
you'll be done with it in like a year.
Yeah.
And statues take like 9 months to get to you, so you might as well order it now. You want to talk about Castle in the Sky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I go through some notes?
I was going to go through my notes. Please go through yours.
I got some funny notes.
Okay.
So first, I had to watch this morning.
I watched it last night and this morning as well.
Yeah. So I looked it up and I was like, how long is this shit?
2 hours.
As I do with every Ghibli film.
Yeah.
Too fucking long.
They're all 2 hours. And like they really don't need to be.
This is 2 hours and 15 minutes long.
Did you get some kind of extended edition? Mine was just straight 2 hours.
I don't know. I looked it up on Google and I didn't look it up.
Where'd you watch? Max?
Yeah.
I watched it on Max as well.
I guess 2 hours then.
Yeah.
2 hours is still too long.
It's objectively, it could be an hour and 20-minute movie very easily.
But so I was looking it up. I looked up Castle in the Sky.
They don't make it to the Castle in the Sky until an hour and 15 minutes in.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
But I was looking up Castle in the Sky, and the first Google search thing was like, is Castle in the Sky a sequel to Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind? And I was like, these fucking idiots. What?
My last note. My last note from Castle in the Sky. Nausicaa is a sequel to this movie.
Okay. Well, I was like, these fucking idiots, like these fucking brain rot, Marvel brain, dumbass, gay.
He's just fucking, we're going through it. You know what? I'm on it. I'm on the board now. I'm on it. I like it.
Thanks. These dumbass, iPad babies being like, oh, every Miyazaki movie's connected.
These iPad babies watching a movie from 1988, yeah. Daddy.
I'm like, these dumbasses think that every Miyazaki movie is connected. Blah, blah. I got like 5 minutes in. First note, is this a sequel to Nausicaa?
Yeah. It's almost the same movie.
It's just a sequel, and it confirmed, like, by the fact that the little fox things show up.
Tito
shows up.
Tito's on the fucking castle.
Tito shows up, and the robots look just like the Titans.
A lot smaller, but
Well, they're smaller, but they're robots. They're not the Titans. So they're robots, like, in the image of the Titans.
Danny, this is huge for me because my biggest question was, how is this movie a sequel? How is Nausicaa a sequel to this movie? Yeah. And my theory, I was formulating a theory, was that, like, what is it called? Labitica?
Oh, yeah, Lupita or something?
We literally just watched it.
We watched it today.
He says Lapetians. So, yeah, Lapita. Something like that. So, my theory was that...
Laputa.
Yeah, Lapita. Lapita. Lapita, when it collapsed, like Lapita had like a bunch of scientific advancements and all of that. And I thought like when they destroyed Lapita, that was like they had like the curse or like the poison that was like released down to the earth when Lapita was exploded. And that where it dropped started the foundation of the poison forest that then would grow to take over the world in Nausicaa.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought Nausicaa was a prequel to this because of the robot. So you think
humanity recovers and then makes Lapita?
Yeah. Because they would need a castle in the sky because everything's poison on the ground.
That's pretty good.
Isn't that?
That's pretty good.
Because the robots, like I said,
but it'd have to be thousands of years in the future. Because they talk about it, he's talking about the bad guy, whose name I'm also forgetting right now, says that, like, the fire that killed Sodom and Gomorrah was this.
They also have Christianity. Yeah. Which is weird.
And Buddhism. There were, like, also, like, the Ram Shama, or I believe, whatever it's called, the Rayam Sama or something like that, refers to this as Indra's arrow. So I was like, both Buddhism and Christianity have been formed and made ideations about this like lightning ability that fires from Lapita.
Right. Yeah, well, the robots made me think, unless, if you want to call this a prequel, then it's like, I guess they started as robots and then those became advanced and they were like, they turned them to Titans. Yeah. Like,
or they were like affected by the poison released from Lapita.
Oh, and became like biomechanical? Yeah. Maybe. Because a bunch of them drop.
That, and you can see when they're cut open that they have like weird like veins and bugs inside of them.
It's so weird that they're so clearly connected.
Yeah.
What do you think of the movie though?
The movie is, when I talk about this movie to other people about like Ghibli films and all that, I call it Hayao Miyazaki's most underrated film. And rewatching it now, it's fine.
Whoa.
It's
here's the thing.
It's good.
My expectations were way off.
Okay.
It's called Castle in the Sky.
Yeah.
And the cover is just a fucking girl in the same dress every girl wears in these movies.
And with a red headband and pigtails that are gonna get shot off at some point.
Yeah, and like a boy's floating. Like it's literally like Haku and Chihiro.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is gonna be a fucking dumbass.
It's gonna be one of the nonsense
ones.
Gay ass.
I ran out.
I've been fucking incentivized.
Yeah. It's gonna be like a Kiki's Delivery Service. It's gonna be a Totoro.
Oh no, it's a war one.
Dude, the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh shit, what is going on here?
The war is so whimsical to Hayao Miyazaki.
He loves it.
It's not even that he loves it. I mean, he does love it, but like it's also just like it's always like someone kicking down a door and they're like shooting and everyone's like, and then like somebody like gets kicked or thrown. Like everyone just flies around.
It's a lot of swashbuckling.
Oh, it's so much swashbuckling.
Yeah. This has like probably his highest death toll though.
Oh my god, yeah.
When they like shoot down the main ship and you see all of the people like falling off it.
Goliath,
Yeah, I was like, we gonna see them like be okay? Not okay.
And Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, the one main boy shoots down four bombers and carriers in one fighter pilot. He just nukes an entire army.
Dude, I like this main boy.
Pazu's great.
He's great.
Pazu's great.
He's great.
Yeah, he's useful.
Yeah.
He's an engineer. He's running around. He's got his like little grenade launcher in the end. He's like clearing out walls. Pazu's awesome, dude. It also,
really
though,
good.
Ironically, has the weakest female lead in Miyazaki films in Sheeta, because she's kind of the worst.
She's nothing.
Yeah.
Even worse than Mononoke, but that's just because Mononoke fucking wreck shop.
What do you mean?
For someone whose name is the fucking title of the movie, Mononoke is like hardly in that movie.
She is like protagonist B in a movie named after her. That is kind of crazy.
Which is the issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, this main girl
She
sucks. She has either an accent or no accent or a fake accent.
I thought
all over the place.
I thought I was going fucking insane, Danny, because I thought 20 minutes into it they changed voice actresses.
I also thought that.
20 minutes in, she has a American transcontinental accent for the first 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes in, she's fucking Australian.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened. And then she's some mix of Australian and British for the rest of the goddamn movie.
The fact that you also feel this way makes me need to go back, because I also, 20 minutes in, I was like, she always had this accent?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I genuinely think they might have switched. And I was like, if you're 20 minutes into dubbing over a movie and you have to switch voice actresses,
have this new chick restart.
do the whole thing. Like, it's like fucking Mike Myers did the entirety of Shrek in a Irish accent before he went for Scottish or something. Like, redo it.
That's so funny. But yeah, it's
good. It's the worst war movie one, I believe.
That's fair.
But and I think that's on the back of the main characters not being necessarily all that strong. Because here's the thing, like, Sophie's a really cool character, Nausicaa's a really cool character, Princess Mononoke is a really cool character, Chihiro's a cool character, set in a really cool like backdrop as well. This is, I think the most unfortunate thing about Castle in the Sky is that it's just Nausicaa without Nausicaa. And so it's like, oh, we're flying around on mini gliders. We got to go get the big old bug ship out of the air. Yeah. And like, there's some like forbidden, really cool area that we're trying to protect kind of thing. And it's just not as cool or as metal as Nausicaa. It's like more Ghibli-esque. Like, I feel like it's more Ghibli than Nausicaa, because like Nausicaa's too metal to be Ghibli. Yeah. Like, it's closer to Akira than it is a Ghibli movie.
Yeah, right. This, I have as a note, within 5 minutes, a kid is already doing an adult's job. Mm-hmm. Classic.
Oh,
classic
him just like controlling the mines and like fixing pipes and all that.
Dude, he loves children at work.
He's 13 years old. And they're always just like in danger.
They're always like just doing a job.
Yeah.
They're either like pumping a fume. Remember in Mononoke?
That wasn't children. That was women.
That was women.
Yeah, that was women. And then she has lepers like making her guns for her.
Lepers making guns.
Yeah.
But like Boy and the Heron is just a bunch of jobs. Spirited Away is a bunch of jobs.
Yep.
He loves a kid at work.
Oh, absolutely.
Also, speaking of him being 13.
Yeah.
Speaking of her being 13, you love her fucking harem.
But the whole Dola family coming in and being like, I'm in love with you. And I'm like, you have a beard.
This fucking 40-year-old man coming in being like, I gotta get some.
I gotta help her. I gotta help her cook.
Golly.
That's my future wife.
That was wild.
It was wild.
That was crazy.
In 1988 was a different time. You could fuck 13-year-olds back then.
Yeah. I have... This kid gets up at the fucking crack of dawn and just goes to town on a trumpet.
like no alarm, no nothing. He's like, I gotta let these pigeons out, and I gotta play taps for the entire village to know it's mining time.
The second the sun like crests the horizon, he's fucking on it.
It was ripping too.
And then immediately after that, my note is, then he hands Shido a handful of breadcrumbs, and she's attacked by
birds. Yeah, he's also just always got food on him.
Yeah.
My notes are this Giga Chad showdown is like Armstrong and the teacher's husband.
Yeah, I like the tough guy showdown.
When they're like was flexing out of their shirt and just punching each other in the stomach was so great.
That was awesome. That went on for 5 minutes, and I wouldn't cut a second.
Yeah. I love that every woman in this story, every grown-up woman is fucking yoked.
Dude, this has the single only GILF I've ever seen.
Dude, Dola could get it. Dude, Dola's ripped.
Dude, Dola's fucking huge. Dola's like a Miss America or whatever her name is in My Hero, like 50 years later.
Stars and Stripes.
Stars and Stripes.
Do you think, have you seen Futurama?
Yeah.
Do you think the Dola crime family inspired Ma?
Oh, I don't.
You know how Ma
She doesn't look like her. She's Ghibli looking.
Well, so like Ma is like the head of like the like Amazon Corporation of Futurama. And she has a bunch of dumb kids that like run her crime gang. Yeah, she just slaps the shit out of them. I was like, this must be inspired by Dola, like Dola and the crime gang.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I was watching this and I was like, I wonder how much like got inspired by Ghibli films. Because I was watching it and I was like, all the mini speeders, like the Dola crime family. And I was like thinking, it was like, I can't imagine like, oh, that's what it was. Every mechanic in the Ghibli universe is Dr. Egghead. Yeah. And I was like, because like later on, the mechanic, the spider mechanic, who I have a painting of right here.
Yeah, same deal.
Is the same
Big
dude.
bushy mustache.
And I was like, I wonder if like, when did Sonic come out? Do you think Dr. Egghead was inspired by Ghibli?
90s, so maybe.
Maybe.
I don't, well, no, because what's it called? Big Spider Guy came out in 2000.
Yeah.
So probably
but like,
not.
did Dr. Egg, but like, was like the pa, like the dad of this thing, like he's like a mechanic.
I don't know, he's like hardly in it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
But like,
I bet it's like an Astro Boy thing.
Is that a Japanese thing that like every mechanic is like bald with a big mustache? Like, because that could be it as well.
It could be that. There's definitely more. Us looking into Lupin the other day or the other week made me.
Dude, Lupin looks crazy.
Did you? Which one?
I saw the. No. I don't know which one it was. I saw one with like a blonde dude with metal
with the
teeth.
axe. We gotta see that shit. That looks crazy.
It looks fucking nuts.
I think I sent you that.
It looks crazy as fuck.
I was just gonna bring it up. There's a Lupin movie about a dude who turns himself in after he's a serial killer who kills 100 people and then he turns himself in and then he breaks out of prison and kills another 100 and then turns himself in.
Yeah.
And that's his racket. He's too strong. He's too fast. No one can stop him. And he just gets tuckered out every 100 people. And Lupin and some fucking samurai have to take him out. It looks awesome.
It's called Lupin the Third, The Spray of Gyomon Ishikawa. It came out in 2017.
Looks incredible.
It looks really cool. I've seen clips of it. I've seen clips of like the samurai fight against the giant axe guy. And it's like,
where he moves crazy fast and like slivers off of
he has like his own arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this looks, we should absolutely watch that at some point. Maybe when we finish Miyazaki, we should do all the Lupin movies.
I was like genuinely thinking about that. That one looks sick.
It looks super cool.
But no, looking up Lupin and seeing how much it actually influenced like media, I'm like, oh, there's like so much Japanese like anime shit in live action movies.
Oh, absolutely.
The Akira slides and everything.
Of course. It's like Pokemon, any like Stranger Things, all those kinds of things. It's in everything. Yeah, I mean, it's just like also like it's just like massive to a huge consumer base, and they put out so much content, and it's like a lot of it's so incredibly iconic. Maybe we should watch the Lupin. I also write Uncle Palm, top 10 Ghibli character.
Uncle Palm.
The guy who's like, your rock is too loud. Your rock is too loud. I was like, this guy's great.
I wrote, the girl goes, don't you ever get lonely down here? And he goes, never. These rocks are my friends. And then I go, spoken like a man who's incredibly lonely.
It's like, they listen, the rock's talk in a soft voice. And he turns the light off. And he's like, you guys hear it, right?
You guys hear it, right? They're just backing up.
Yeah, there's like, no, it's just rocks still.
He like turns off his lantern and the bioluminescence shows he's on like a throne of kid bones.
Now you're about to talk to me.
Yeah. I get down with that. He's fun. I wanted to talk about the tough guy competition real quick again.
I love that we have the same note.
I love that the dude, so in it, these two guys are having a tough guy off.
Yeah.
And because at first they're like, we're gonna kick your ass. It's like some army men rolling up on these villagers. And it's a classic, like, we're honest folk here kind of village.
Yeah. It's a mining town.
Yeah, and they're about to like actually fight and or kill each other. And then one of them on the military side goes, make your shirt explode.
Yeah, it's the Dola crime family, and one of the brothers like, yeah, make your shirt explode. It's one of my favorite moments in Ghibli.
And then he flexes so hard that like his shirt pops open in like a realistic kind of way. Like if a big man's wearing too tight of a shirt.
Yeah.
And the other dude wearing overalls flexes so hard that the shirt under the overalls explodes.
He blows the top half of his shirt off, including like his arms. But it's weird because it's like not like it doesn't rip at the chest section. It like literally blows upwards. Yeah.
It's crazy. It was awesome.
It's fucking great.
I also had that now. I was like, this is the best moment in Ghibli history.
Yeah. The Dola crime family are some of my favorite characters in all movies. Like, I just wish the movie revolved around them and them alone. Because they kind of fill that role. Like, Dola fills the Witch of the Waste role, where it's like an old woman. He draws every old woman the same.
Loves them.
Every single one of them is the same.
An old woman. Loves a this kind of gal.
Yeah, loves a flexy dude.
Loves a Rosie the Riveter.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it was also that moment where Dola's like, get down from there. You're a girl. When they're like, going up in the crow's nest and it's about to come a kite. And they're like, she's like, get down from there. You're a girl. And she just like, well, you're a girl as well. And I'm like, yeah, let's go.
And they both go.
Yeah, and they're like, we get it done.
Yeah, I loved when she was like, now it's going to get crazy up there. You're going to have to use the phone to communicate. And the phone rings and she's like, you mean this one?
And then all of like her like pedophile like sons are like, I love her. Yeah, they're like, wow, she really is like she is quick.
I know.
Fucking wild. Also, wild. Mark Hamill.
Yeah, the villain. Is this the only Ghibli movie with like a clear villain? Because Nausicaa's are like, it's a war. Like they're not like
evil. And they're also like trying to get rid of like an inherently like dangerous and terrible. Like they just don't understand.
Yeah, they're trying to fucking debug the goddamn place.
Yeah, they don't understand that, like, hey, the forest is, like, this mystical place that's trying to purify the earth.
And even Mononoke.
Where, like, she's, like, trying to... Like, she's an industrialist.
Yeah, she's an industrialist.
And she's like, I, like, hire women so they don't have to work in sex trade, and I hire lepers because they are cast outs of society.
Yeah, and that's not to say she's not, like, a villain. Like, every good villain is, like, gray.
No Face? He's not really a villain. He's just kind of lonely.
Hungry.
Yeah, he's just hungry and lonely.
Yeah, he's lonely. Like, he's sad. He's sympathetic. This is the only, like, mustache twirling, like, I'm just evil villain.
He's like, I'm just, like, I need the power. I want to, like, destroy, like, the entirety of the world with this, like, laser nuke I have here.
Yeah, he's like, give me your gem, and then I'm going to kill you. And she's like, well, hold on.
Well, time out. Paz has got a grenade launcher.
Yeah, and then the Paz comes in, and he's like, all right, put down your gun so I can kill you.
He's a wildly accurate shot for somebody who misses every important shot. Because there's a scene where she's like standing across from him and he shoots both of her ponytails off. And then he's like, your ear is next. And I was like, you've missed shots before this. You just laced 2 ponytails from 50 yards.
Dude, if a guy shot like my hat off with 2 bullets and then was like, your ears are next, I'd be like, all right, I got at least like 4 fibs left before this guy starts shooting me somewhere important.
Yes, like I can lose a lobe. I'll be all right.
Ears.
He's like shooting a revolver. He's like ripping through bullets like they're going out of style. Like, you got 3 shots left here.
Take them. Take my ears. That's fine.
I'll be fine without them. I can barely see him anyways.
I don't need this part to hear.
I also think I was like, you know how it ends. The story basically ends with Laputa them using like the destruction spell. Too short. First off, she's like, oh, if you ever need help, say this out loud. And it's like 7 words long to call a robot to you. But if you want to destroy the entirety of the fucking castle, all you say is callous. Like what? Oh, whoops.
Yeah, a very easy to accidentally say word.
Oh man, my hands are calloused.
Yeah.
Anybody feel that rumbling?
That's like Biden having like the button to nuke Russia be in the same logo as YouTube on his phone.
It's like right next to his tapioca, and for some reason they also put it in a big old jar of pudding. Like
it's like it has to be in pudding.
Yeah, it's just
so by the time I'm done eating, I'll know whether or not to do it.
Yeah, whether or not I've hit the big red button at the bottom here.
But presses it with the spoon.
Yeah, and I get that the idea of this entire thing is that like, oh, like absolute power corrupts absolutely. Laputa probably had the cure for cancer. Like hey, before we nuke this like highly scientifically advanced society, let's write a couple things down,
Yeah, no,
like, hey, we don't need the giant laser nuke, but like, hey, they're this massively advanced scientific community that like might have had cures for all the ailments we have down on like the earth.
Yeah. Nah.
Let's see.
Fuck it.
But yeah, fun movie.
How do you rank it? Under Nausicaa?
Under Nausicaa.
Got you.
Nausicaa's better.
Yeah.
Even though like it feels like a more complete story than Nausicaa is just like more metal.
Yeah.
I feel like the sound design, like music is better in Nausicaa. It's still really good in Castle in the Sky because it's fucking Ghibli, but
yeah, I agree. Nausicaa's better. It's got cooler action scenes, which I know shouldn't be like my deciding factor in a Ghibli film. Nausicaa's a cooler
I don't know.
character.
Ghibli films do action really well.
They do, but they do it rare.
Yeah.
They never want to make another war shit. Dude.
We got a pretty generational run coming up here. I think we're about to.
What's the next one? What do we gotta watch?
We're about to stumble into I believe the three movie run. I think
there's no way Mononoke is. If Mononoke's next, then the 3 movie run's gonna have to be 5.
You're gonna hate those. Guess.
Oh, it's Kiki. Is it Totoro?
And then
Kiki.
Yep.
What a flop. What an absolute fumble of a career.
And then Porco Rosso, and then we get to the 3 good ones.
Dude,
so
I looked up a list because again I was nervous for this movie and just didn't want to watch it. Also, who did Tales of Earthsea? Is that him or no?
The fuck are you talking about?
Okay.
Tales of Earthsea?
Yeah.
Was that his son?
Maybe that was Goro. But I was looking at
wild that his son's name is
Goro Miyazaki. I was looking up his movies ranked. This was pretty high, with Nausicaa.
Oh my god, it is Goro Miyazaki.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. This was pretty high up in terms of the ranking, as one of his worst movies. But they're all
It's good.
It's good. This is a good
watch.
one. Yeah. This is up there in the ranking. And then I was like, all right, scrolling down, Mononoke is number 4 or 5. And I'm like, what the hell?
If it's not 2, it's 1.
I was like, well, yeah, what the hell, Mononoke? All right, let's keep going. Under that, Howl's Moving Castle as 3. And I'm like, all right, or no, it's Mononoke 5 and then Howl 4. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense, blah, blah. 3, Spirited Away.
The one that won an Oscar.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, 3? Yeah. All right, what's 2? We knocked out all the good ones.
It's Totoro.
2's Porco Rosso.
No fucking way.
Porco Rosso.
We got 3 weeks till we watch it, though.
1 is The Wind Rises, which is his second most recent one. I'm going to piss.
Okay, go piss. Apparently, an Attack on Titan editor killed somebody.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did they deserve it?
Sometimes
they do.
Well, what they haven't considered is that since they worked on Attack on Titan, they're more important than them. Right. So I think they should probably take that into consideration during his trial. He only got 11 years, so yeah, Japan is very lenient with murder.
I feel
the most famous Japanese serial killer of all time, also a cannibal, is alive and does porn.
Whoa.
And he never went to jail.
Whoa.
Yeah, they lost his records.
Whoa.
They lost all the records of all of his murders, and they were just like, well, we can't try him anymore.
Crazy.
And so there's a serial killing cannibalist who's 85 years old, and he just fucks 22-year-old Japanese women, and they make porn of it.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude.
That's hardcore.
Japan's a crazy country.
I feel people undervalue just how long 11 years is, though. Especially considering that most people who leave prison just have a fucked life. Just financially, societally, anyway.
I was terrified of going to prison as a child. I thought it was
scary.
I thought it was just a thing. There's so much crime TV. I thought it was just a thing that everybody did at some point.
Well, there's no help because I get the idea. It's tough because you're balancing between vengeance and justice. Someone murders someone and the family's that guy should be executed or that guy should be in prison for life or whatever, this and that.
Yeah.
And it's the idea of prison is meant to be reform.
Yeah.
Rather than a timeout. Because if it's a timeout, you almost might as well just kill him because then if you come back from prison 11 years later, you don't know dick about the outside, you have no money, you have no job, no one will hire you because of that. And I get that it's don't make a mistake, but sometimes it's an accident. Sometimes you accidentally kill somebody and that's nobody's fault.
Yeah, that's called manslaughter.
Well, manslaughter is a silly crime to me.
Yeah, because you're oh, I goofed.
If you're texting and you hit somebody with your car,
yep.
you deserve to be in prison or fined.
Okay.
I think it should be a fine. Because what does prison do, honestly, to someone who manslaughters? If you accidentally kill somebody.
Yeah.
Now I'm in prison.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of hating the country more and more each day.
Yeah.
And being around other violent, angry people.
Yeah.
And then I come out and my life is ruined.
It's called being, what is it? Institutionalized.
Yeah, so it's what has been accomplished societally? Whereas in other countries,
you don't text while you drive anymore?
I guess so.
Have you learned your lesson?
Boy, I guess so.
Have you learned your lesson?
But also if I was fined $20,000, I'd also not text and drive anymore.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's it doesn't bring that person back. It was an accident. And also I learn the same lesson. Except now when I come out of prison, I'm going to be so fucking angry, I might kill somebody on purpose.
Mm-hmm. So is this a big ploy to get, make texting and driving legal?
I'm so into texting and driving.
You do text and drive a lot. You do. You do. You're a big guy. You say, I'm number one texter.
No, I
actually text faster while driving.
I'm just huge into like prison reform.
Oh, nice.
That's my big political.
Way to get after it here. All right, you want to do best boy? Apparently not prisons.
Yarg.
You want to know my best boy?
Tell me.
San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, you're not going.
And that's why it's my best boy.
Yeah.
It's this weekend, and I don't want to go to another con, but I got invited, and the invite was, "Hey man, come to our booth, and
if you're around,
and you take a photo."
Yeah.
And I was like, my knee.
I thought you were like my knee.
No.
Oh, my old bone.
My knee.
Yeah, money for sure.
I'm not driving 2 hours to San Diego for anything less than money.
That's so fair, and it's also like, God, con season has been brutal.
It's also like Comic-Cons. I don't know, it's cool, but like I was like, I don't give a shit about the Marvel area or the DC area or the Power Rangers area.
Yeah.
I just want anime.
I feel that. I'd be into it. I'm not going either, and it's just because I'm like absolutely pooped. Because we did VidCon. Well, we did Comic Palooza, and then like 2 weeks after was VidCon.
Yep.
And then a week after was Anime Expo.
Yep.
And then a week after for me was EVO.
Yeah.
And then a week after is this upcoming week, which is San Diego Comic-Con. And I'm just fucking, I think I've managed to dodge COVID. I get sick every time I go to a con.
Yep. There's like 200,000 people all not wearing masks.
I got violently sick after Comic Palooza. Got my whole house sick. It was miserable. I think I've dodged it. Knock on some goddamn structure.
That's wood. That's plasterboard. That's not wood. That's plastic.
This is not wood.
That is wood.
How?
It's plasterboard.
What is plastic?
It's just laminated. There you go.
Knocked.
Yeah.
I think I dodged it for VidCon and then Anime Expo and then now EVO. I just simply can't risk it.
Yeah. At San Diego Comic-Con.
I'm not even like, it's just, I just fucking am behind on work and I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
The idea of going to another is so exhausting.
I fully have to film a YouTube video after this. Like I'm way behind on work and I'm leaving for a week in August and I have no videos bankrolled.
Leaving for a week to do what?
There's a wedding and then I'm spending time with my family. So like it's like right before my birthday. San Diego Comic-Con's going on this week. Go or don't, it doesn't.
See, I'm sure it'll be fun.
It'll be great.
Cons are fun.
Actually, San Diego Comic-Con is really nice. It's like actually very well run. It's never cramped. It's not Anime Expo like level cramped anywhere. Like it's very well AC'd. It's like Comic Palooza. Comic Palooza was very well run. I was a big fan of that. So SDCC is awesome. Go down to the Jazzwares thing and go look at. Jazzwares just made a Attack on Titan new. I think they made like an Aaron statue and they wanted me to take photos of it. So go there. Go do that. Send him. Tell him Nick sent you if you're going. Actually, that'll look good for me.
Yeah. Tell everybody we sent you.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. We should like make that our platform. We should be like, hey, tell him.
I do that.
Tell him Nick sent you. You going to buy a Chevy? Tell him Nick sent you. You going to Barnes & Noble? Tell him Nick sent you.
Yeah. I get DMs a lot from like artists who we've like promoted on here from cons.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, people said they found me on your thing. Thanks.
Send me free stuff.
Heyo.
Do you have a best boy?
Yeah. EVO.
Okay.
EVO was fun.
Now we talk about it. Nice.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
EVO was cool. Were
you talking?
No, I didn't I was just there for fun.
Oh. That's not like you. I thought you were pooped.
I was pooped. Well, I did a lot of networking, which was good. And I also got like a media badge. So the ticket was free, but like hotel was crazy expensive and everything else. But like, so yeah, it was cool. I do kind of wish I was going to San Diego Comic-Con and didn't go to EVO instead.
Why? Because there's just not a lot going on? Or?
Yeah, it's not like that big. And
it's only fighting. It's just like for fighting games, right?
It's for fighting games, which is cool. And the tournaments are fun and cool. But going from like literally Anime Expo last week to this is so different.
Because it's just smaller.
It's just way
way more like what is it? Specified. Like it's like a much smaller audience. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Anime Expo really like dresses it up nice. Where you walk in, there's like a big Luffy, the Crunchyroll section's like all in orange.
Yeah.
The like
when you walk into the con, it's this massive circle of like high tier cosplayer taking photos.
Yeah, it's a very like, even if you take away like the panels, the booths, everything, the set decoration makes it feel like a premium con event.
Yeah.
This is like very clearly like a warehouse with just a bunch, like it's a convention center.
Gotcha, yeah.
But it's like a very clearly an empty convention center with just like a bunch of booths. There's not like, huge posters and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it was fine. It was cool. I got my hands on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Oh.
Which is very fun.
Yeah.
It's literally Budokai Tenkaichi 4.
Really?
It's cool. It's like,
didn't they just make a new one of that? Are Sparking Zero and Budokai Tenkaichi 4, those are different things?
it's like essentially Budokai Tenkaichi 4.
Gotcha.
The last Budokai Tenkaichi was 3 back in like 2009.
Okay.
So this is like essentially a sequel to that. It looks great. Like it's like the only Dragon Ball game I've played, and I've played all of them, where they get like the camera work like nailed. Like you're flying around and it feels cinematic and crazy. So that was fun. I got to play like a bunch of DLC characters that aren't out yet, but it was cool. But my news from EVO that everyone already knows is that Guilty Gear Strive, which is getting an anime.
Yes.
And is on
the trailer looked cool.
The anime trailer is cool.
Yeah.
They won EVO in terms of announcements, I think.
Okay.
Because they announced season 4 for like their season pass, which we all knew was coming. The characters are sick. They're releasing like a 3v3 mode, which is huge for a fighting game to just
wild.
Yeah, to just add in like 4 years into its lifespan. And also, one of the new DLC characters is a guest character, and it's Lucy from Cyberpunk.
What?
That's one of the DLC characters coming to the game.
Not David?
Not David. A lot of people are saying that.
Or Maine, or the people who fought?
People wanted the little girl. What's Rachel? Rebecca?
Rachel, I think, yeah. No, yeah. Rebecca, you're right, yeah.
People want her, yeah, not David, which is strange. Yeah, it is a weird choice, but...
She's like the one non-combatant. Like, she like hacks, but that's not really like a... That's not like a fighting thing.
Yeah, but she's hot and she'll sell merch.
She is hot and she will sell merch.
That's definitely
and skins.
Why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's crazy because, yeah, Cyberpunk's like, the anime is based on a video game.
Yeah.
But there are never anime guest characters in fighting games. And it's such an untapped market. If Guts was in Mortal Kombat 1, huge
and Soul
numbers. Guts and Soul Calibur, huge numbers. If Naruto just showed up in Guilty Gear, it'd be fucking gigantic.
I guess Guilty Gear is the most anime out of all the fighting games.
Exactly. That's why it's perfect. I'd love for them, if they do more seasons after 4, which I know is like thinking way too ahead because this will last like a full year.
Goku and Injustice. Goku, you could have Superman versus Goku. They could finally settle the conversation.
True, Saitama.
Yeah.
And Injustice. But yeah, like, it'd just be so good. I'd love if, like, Guilty Gear Season 5, like, Gaara's in it.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
The only problem is every anime has its own fighting game. There's a One Punch Man fighting game.
Well, that's the thing. Guilty Gear, the people who make Guilty Gear, make Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Toss in Goku. Fuck it. You know?
That'd be kind of
sick. Put Goku in Guilty Gear.
I feel like his kit doesn't work, though, because I feel like everybody in Guilty Gear has a weapon of sorts. There's the small woman. There's the lady with a anchor. There's a soul bad guy's got a sword. There's that one guy. There's the one guy with the trumpet. Ba, 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 and then he like punches a bunch.
You're talking about Skullgirls, Big Bang, or Big Band?
No, Big Band. That's the guy.
That's Skullgirls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It's a different game.
That's not Guilty Gear?
No.
You're talking like you can play like the
He
song.
does a little trumpet and then he gives you a big punch.
Skullgirls?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, that's
never heard of it.
That's Skullgirls' issue currently. Yeah.
That nobody's ever heard of it outside of the Big Band.
Yeah, it's been out for like 8 years, maybe 10 years.
Damn.
Yeah. And it makes no money and nobody plays.
Good.
Yeah.
Were they there?
Yeah.
How did Sarah do?
Sarah's good. She had as much fun as she could possibly have.
Okay, so
we
very
played,
little.
Yeah, we played a little Mortal Kombat. We played the new League of Legends fighting game.
Okay.
Which was fun. She liked that
There's
one.
a League of Legends fighting game?
Yeah. It's got the worst name ever.
Okay.
It's called 2XKO. The worst name ever.
That's awful.
It's literally just Street Fighter, but with League of
Legends characters?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, I guess.
Terrible name. Call it like League Arena or something.
I mean, don't they kind of have... No, they don't have Arena. It's EFT, Escape from Tarkov, dropped an Arena thing. But yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. But yeah, what's your news?
My news is that they are making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto crossover comic. Naruto and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are having a crossover comic.
I hate that.
And you probably should because it's the weirdest thing that's why
Is it a comic or a manga? Like, is it going to have color or not?
I think it's going to have color. I think it's a full-on comic. And it's really funny because those are like currently Naruto and TMNT are the kings of cross promotion. Like
really?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have been in everything.
Yeah.
They've been with Batman, they've been with like so many people, and Naruto recently has been doing so many collaborations. Like Naruto's doing their Crocs, they're doing their other things. Like they've been doing so many other things.
Yeah, the king of cross promotion.
Yeah, so the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics book line is having a banner year in 2024. Not only is it kicking off a star-studded relaunch of the monthly TMT series, continuing the last Ronin saga, now they're gearing up for a crossover with one of the biggest anime and manga properties on the planet. That's right, the heroes of TMNT and Naruto are joining forces. So yeah, it's a full-on Naruto comic, but objectively, look at like the images that have come out.
I like the art.
Dude, the art is sick.
It's really pretty.
The art's like very well, like it's very colorful. So I think the TMNT, like the turtles are gonna be in like the Naruto universe. Like there's one like cover where you see like they're all in like Ombu masks.
Yeah.
Isn't that sick?
Okay.
But like it kind of makes sense, right? Because they're ninjas. So them ending up in the Naruto universe is actually like a really cool crossover.
Yeah, and they're wearing that's cool. They have the hidden leaf band on their headbands.
Yeah. So like it makes a lot of sense. Like they're ninjas, they're ending up in the Naruto like ninja universe. I am very excited for the comic. I don't know when it's gonna drop.
It's funny that it's Kid Naruto.
I mean, I guess. I mean, like he's not really a ninja anymore, right? So it would make more sense that it would be Kid Ninja. So it's gonna be out. I actually don't know. It doesn't say here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Naruto #1 will be released November 13th, 2024.
Wow, are you gonna have to read these?
I'm gonna read them.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll read them. I'll go over them.
Do you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I don't really like them.
They're fine.
I don't like that they're big turtles.
It's the whole thing.
I know. Get rid of that bit. Yeah. And I'm into it.
You would just be ninjas.
Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninjas.
But they wouldn't be mutants.
They have
clam
lobster
hands. They could have clam hands. We need more clam hands in IP. All right. That brings us to our favorite part of the show called Love Letters, where me and Danny pull a live audience member and have them ask us a question that we answer here live on the podcast. So if you guys want to watch our podcast live, get it early and get 2 additional hours of content every single month. You can become a member of either the YouTube membership or Patreon, and you'll get access to all of those exclusive benefits. So, Daniel, do we have any questions? Larkin Johnson asks, if you take any anime and set it in a different time period, what would you choose and when would you place it?
We have some art of like Naruto characters in like SWAT team gear.
Like tactical Kakashi?
Yeah, like tactical Kakashi. I feel like Naruto characters in the Kaiju #8 like time period, you know, like
just modern day,
but like future-ish,
like with like portable railguns and all that. Yeah,
I feel like that'd be sick. And if you do that and lean into the fact that they should be stealthy, that could be cool. Like seeing them actually doing like SWAT shit, like
seeing Naruto pop out of like a lake with like night vision glasses on or something, like slowly walking out like he's like Swedish special forces. Yeah, sick.
Zero Dark Shinobi. Like
that's a great title for an anime. Zero Dark Shinobi. Yeah, they're like a strike force.
Yeah, that'd be
dude.
rad.
Orochimaru was like a. Oh God, what would he be? He'd be like a bio. He'd be Osama bin Laden. It would be like a corrupt like biotech like CEO or something. And they'd like break in and like steal vials or like little meat skis in jars. Oh, that'd be sick as hell.
You had one, right?
And Sasuke goes to ISIS. Dude. That'd be dope. Oh my God, that'd be so sick. Yeah, I have an answer. So in the Kaiju #8 universe, they had. Dude, I'd love
Sasuke like beheading somebody on camera.
He's like nandemo. It's like, oh, like, Sasuke, please.
There's still 12.
Sasuke wasn't in the Quran. So in Kaiju #8, they established the fact that kaiju have been emerging since, I believe it's the Taisho period, but maybe before that. So kaiju have been emerging in Japan since 1600. I want a Kaiju #8 prequel story so badly. Because like, obviously, you know, you see Mina Ashido up there with her rail gun and she's punching holes in kaijus from 3 miles away. How were they tackling the kaiju problem 400 years ago? To see like a bunch of samurai on horseback trying to cut down kaiju and like using bow and arrows and having to be like super like either like acrobatic or like stealthy because they didn't have kaiju suits back then, right? that scale, the scale of that, and I feel the same way about like Godzilla. Like a Godzilla based, and they kind of touched on this in Godzilla -1, where it was like, oh, World War I versus Godzilla, and they were trying to use like, you know, surface-to-air missiles, they were trying to use like cannons, all that kind of stuff. Seeing a kaiju story based in a time period when like guns basically didn't exist, I think would be so cool.
I agree. That's super sick. Yeah. I don't know how you'd even do it without just ripping off Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, the most impressive thing Attack on Titan did was like tell a story in like pseudo medieval kind of era and make it feel like logical that the humans could stand a chance against the
they had a fighting
monsters.
chance. But at the end, they're just firing rockets off their wrists and they're just taking Titans down. I like no ODM gear. Like maybe giant hooks, right? Like you could do it like they ride like sandworms in Dune, right? Like you like set up a system where you bait the kaiju somewhere and you can like climb up it. Like that's what I want to see. Like they could be like superhumanly fast and strong, right? There could be like massive samurais who are able to cut through a kaiju's neck with their huge katana. But like I don't want like ODM gear would just be cutting from Attack on Titan. Yeah. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for this week. We don't really have a huge amount to promote. I mean, go ahead and follow Anime IRL. We just dropped our 3rd video over there with Daniel Duenas. We did a Pictionary video. This week, I believe we're dropping Guess the Weeb, which personally is my favorite video we've ever made. It's absolutely hilarious. We casted 6 weebs, 5 weebs and 1 fake weeb. We had to try and suss out who the fake weeb was. The ending of the video is absolutely hilarious. Genuinely the biggest punch, like the best like laugh we've ever gotten while filming. So go ahead and follow Anime IRL. It's me, Danny, Stephen He, and Chris Barnett's new project. Outside of that, follow us on all the platforms. We don't really have anything in terms of shows coming up here soon.
Not really.
We might be going to ShowCon.
Yeah, maybe.
ShowCon in Atlanta. Yeah. Halloween weekend.
Why are they all in such hot places?
I mean, it'll be like October, so we'll be fine. That's good. Yeah, it'll be like late October.
I'll be at Colossal Con in August, Colossal Con, Texas.
What week? It's the week I'm going to be gone. That's actually perfect. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. We love you. Goodbye.
And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the classics.